Live from Floyd Stadium on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University, it's time for Countdown to Kickoff. Sponsored by the School of Journalism and Strategic Media. Here's your host, Braden Blackwell.
Hello, and we welcome you into Middle Tennessee State University, home of the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders, as they look to take on the Jacksonville Gamecocks in a get-back game for their first Conference USA game. I'm Braden Blackwell. We'll go ahead and take a look at the team, starting out with the Blue Raiders. They entered tonight 1-6 overall, 0-3 in Conference USA, one of the worst records in the conference. Only win was a 15-14 slug out against Nevada. A tough game it was, but MTSU came out with their only win of the season. Nick Vadiato, starting quarterback, has thrown for 1,100 yards, continues to try to be the engine of this offense, and his main target, Najee Cox, leads the receiving corps with over 300 yards. And then you've got the spark out of the backfield that is much needed, Jakale Middlebrook. He's going to be a big part of this game, especially going up against a Jacksonville State team that's been pretty dominant on the run defense. But the story for MTSU, they haven't found the balance yet. They have to be able to find the balance between getting the pass game and the rush game going, knowing what works best, especially against one of the best teams in Conference USA and one of the biggest surprises in the conference, in my opinion, so far. But Jacksonville State comes into this game 4-3 overall, 3-0 in the conference. They have 3 out-of-conference losses, 1 win, and 31 points per game. The Gamecocks averaging 5.5 yards per carry on the ground. And, folks, that's going to be the backbone of this game. They have some very impressive ground game. Their starting running back, Cam Cox, almost 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns on the season. Folks, we're in week 7. That is leading not just the FBS and the FCS, the entire country in rushing yards. So it'll be interesting to see how MTSU goes to tackle that tonight, as MTSU's coming off of a loss to Delaware, and in the last matchup between the Gamecocks and the Blue Raiders, as Jacksonville State took it home 42-20. But you're going to be looking at, on the defensive side for Jacksonville State, Trevor Woods with 28 solo tackles, along with Isaac Walker with 3 sacks in the backfield and a good set of TFLs, which leads the team. And at the helm, we're going to figure out tonight if it's going to be Caden Creel or Gavin Wimsatt. Injuries have been a huge problem for Jacksonville State. They've had 4 quarterbacks start or play at least 1 game, which is why you're seeing the offense lead towards Cook. Both quarterbacks throwing for a combined 1,000 yards and a 4-4 touchdown to interception ratio. We will know before game time who the signal caller is for Jacksonville State. And like we mentioned, Cam Cook, 986 yards on 186 carries. So we'll be interested to see what ends up coming out tonight. We'll talk about keys to the game and key players coming up right after this break. You're listening to the MTN Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough. But if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
And welcome back into Middle Tennessee State University here at Johnny Red Floyd Stadium. Taking a look at the keys to the game for the Blue Raiders. Control the clock. Jacksonville State is thriving off the long drives from other Conference USA opponents. MTSU has to get them off schedule early if they want to try to win this one. The turnover battle. The Blue Raiders in this game, they've had troubles earlier in the season giving the ball away. They cannot afford to give away. This Jacksonville State offense is too consistent, and they will dice up the defense however they have to, so the offense has to be able to provide that same exact action on the other side of the ball. Red zone execution is huge. Finishing drives will determine if this stays close or gets away late. You have to be very smart if you're MTSU. You're going to go up against one of the better defenses in the conference, one of the better defenses in college football. You're going to have to stay strong. Bend, not break is going to be the key, the key word for Coach Derek Mason and the Blue Raiders. Run versus pass identity clash. Jack State wants to pound the rock. 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns for Cam Cook, like we mentioned. He leads the country in rushing yards. He is going to be a problem, and you have to figure out how you're going to solve it. For Jacksonville State, confidence is high after a winning start and a perfect conference record. But for MTSU, the mentality is prove-it mode. They're coming off of close losses, just want to turn the fight into results. So MTSU is going to fight for whatever they can here in this game. Lights went off here in Johnny Red Floyd Stadium. Doing the promo video for MTSU. Mentality prove it, like I mentioned before. They're going to have that underdog mentality coming into this game. MTSU with a 35% chance to win, according to ESPN. The question is, can they finish drives? They have to protect Nick Vadiato. He's going to get under pressure. The defensive line, both sides of the trenches for Jacksonville State, is going to be extremely elite. They're going to have to figure out the problem quick and hold firm on defense. The Gamecocks are going to push the tempo. They're going to put pedal to the metal, and they're going to do whatever they can to try to break the MTSU defense. And especially starting this year, with a brand new coach. His first year, Charles Kelly, got his team believing. Undefeated in the conference. You've got one out-of-conference win and only, 2 losses in the out of conference. It is impressive to see what Jacksonville State has been able to do coming off of last year when they won the Conference USA Championship, just beating out Western Kentucky, and now they're looking to do it again. So we'll take a quick timeout. You're listening to the MTN Sports Network. We'll have the game coming up right after this.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
This is the MTN Sports Network. Today's kickoff is just moments away. Brought to you by our official sponsor, the School of Journalism and Strategic Media. Now, bringing you all of the action, here's Ethan Williams and Dylan Simmons. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, where the weather is chilly, but the action is in fuego on a Wednesday night with weekday CUSA action right here on the MTN Sports Network. The high-flying Jacksonville State Gamecocks putting their undefeated CUSA record on the line tonight as they take on the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders at Floyd Stadium. Dylan Simmons alongside my main man Ethan Williams will keep this quick, Ethan, but what a phenomenal game we've got ready to go tonight.
Absolutely. Jacksonville State won Conference USA last year, and they're looking to run it back with a lot of teams falling off this year. Their only competition for the conference so far is WKU and Louisiana Tech. And let me tell you, Jacksonville State surely is bringing the red to Johnny Red Floyd Stadium. They had a great turnout tonight, a very large band. I was talking with someone earlier, and they said it's got anywhere between 500 to 600 members. And Jacksonville State, of course, traveled really well to tonight's game, so a lot of red in the stadium tonight.
They certainly did. A rematch of last year's game, Jacksonville State winning that game 42-20. Middle Tennessee searching for their first win in CUSA play this year. They've come close a few times, but have lost all three of their CUSA games by just one score. We'll take one more 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have kickoff live from Floyd Stadium right here on the MTN Sports Network.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Johnny Red Floyd Stadium on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University. Dylan Simmons and Ethan Williams here, just about set for weekday CUSA action. Jacksonville State won the toss. They have deferred their option to the second half. So the Blue Raider offense will start with the football in what should be a clash of styles, Ethan. Middle Tennessee loves to throw, but as you mentioned, Jacksonville State, well, they are a big fan of the run with Cam Cook.
Absolutely, and Jacksonville State, Cam Cook, he's got 900 yards on the year and is already in the double-digit touchdowns. One of the best rushers in the conference and certainly in the nation. some NFL scouts here tonight to take a look at them in today's game. But MTSU needs to worry not only about Cam Cook, but also about Jacksonville State's quarterback, because he's mobile as well. They're likely to fake it to the running back and then have the quarterback pull it and take off with it, or run, some form of an option play. And the Blue Raiders are getting ready to receive this kick.
Yeah, we'll find out about the quarterback situation for Jack State in just a bit, but Middle Tennessee will start with the football. Nick Vadiato and the offense soon to be out there. Here we go, weekday CUSA action, the final weekday CUSA game of the year. Let's settle back and enjoy. Thank you for joining us right here on the MTN Sports Network. This is going to be fun. Kickoff is sent into the end zone for a touchback, and Middle Tennessee will start with the football. So the Blue Raiders offense will head on out there. Nick Vadiato and MTSU coming off that tough loss against Delaware 31-28. Had some problems executing early in that game. Made a charge late, just didn't have quite enough to overcome the Blue Hens. They're going to have to try to fix those execution issues tonight. Here, Ethan.
Yeah, the Blue Raider offense looked pretty decent against Delaware. Some of the best offense we've seen thus far this season, but just not good enough to get the win.
Nick Vadiato with 2 men in the backfield. Now one comes in motion. That's A.J. Jones. He'll be a big threat as a wide receiver tonight for MTSU. Vadiato takes the snap, fires one short to Jones, and he's able to get it in the flat for a pickup of maybe 1 or 2 on first down to set up 2nd and long.
They put Hunter Tipton, the tight end, over there in the middle of that trips formation, had him out there as a blocker. That's something this team likes to do, and they've done many times. They like to run these little wide receiver screens and have Hunter Tipton set out wide to help block.
They're going to say a 3-yard gain for A.J. Jones on first down, 2nd and 7. And like you mentioned, they love to have Hunter Tipton, the big tight end, block. Senior tight end with 215 yards on the year. Vadiato with nearly 1,700 passing yards on the season and 11 passing touchdowns. Shotgun formation, 4-receiver set, ball on the right hash. Vadiato fires near side, ball caught and out of bounds with the catch for Middle Tennessee to make it a 3rd and short.
Jaquil Middlebrook.
Jaquil Middlebrook, yes. Couldn't tell exactly who that was over there on that far sideline. Good catch, partner. So 3rd and short, nice play design by MTSU that time.
Yeah, they brought Jaquil out of the backfield. Jaquil a threat not just to run it, but also to catch it. He's got some great hands, and he's one of the key offensive pieces for this Blue Raider offense.
Yes, he is. 218 receiving yards on the year for Jaquil Middlebrook. That's even more than Hunter Tipton. So here we go, 3rd and short for Middle Tennessee. 13:48 to go here in the first quarter. Vadiato with a man in motion. Miles Butler, he's going to hand it off, and it goes to Middlebrook, and he is stacked up and will not make the line to gain. That imposing Jack State defensive line made all the difference right there, Ethan.
And I don't even know if he got back to the line, period, the line of scrimmage. And they're going to say he didn't. They're going to move it back a few inches. And here comes MTSU to punt. A quick 3 and out to start their first offensive possession.
Somewhat of a deflating start for this Middle Tennessee offense. After what looked like a pretty good couple of plays on 1st and 2nd down, they can't convert it to move the chains. So 4th and 3, and that'll send on Middle Tennessee's punter Ashton Logan for his first punt of the night. He's had 11 punts of 50-plus yards this season. Sends it deep, and it will be fair caught right around the 25-yard line. So Jacksonville State's offense will go to work, and as we've been previewing all night long, they have some absolute studs, led, of course, by their sensational tailback, Cam Cook.
Cam Cook had a really good season last year. He had 400 yards and several touchdowns on the ground, and he's almost doubled that, actually has doubled that production this season so far. And look for him to have a big game against the Blue Raiders tonight.
949 rushing yards for Cam Cook this season as Jacksonville State gets set to go with this one, and it looks like it will be Gavin Wimsatt, Caden Creel, who is the quarterback for Jacksonville State to start things off. We could see Wimsatt throughout the game as Cook takes the opening handoff and gets a few yards out of it.
And it looks like one of the Gamecocks is hurt on that one, so they're going to take a timeout to take a look at him.
And it looks like an offensive lineman for the Gamecocks is down here in the early going, so we will take a look at that and try to figure out who that is. We're going to stick with the action for now. 12:45 to go in this first quarter. Jacksonville State with the most dynamic scoring offense in Conference USA. They average over 30 points per game thus far this season. Not a huge proponent of the passing game, but they certainly have the capability with Caden Creel if they so choose.
And, that's something that MTSU needs to take advantage of. MTSU has a very mean front seven. They got Parker Hughes and Alex Mitchell at linebacker. They've got some great defensive linemen as well. Secondary is very weak, though. They've got a redshirt freshman out there, number 25, starting for them. And, they've just lost a couple of their key players to injury this year in the secondary. So if Jacksonville State wants to keep it on the ground, I think that's what Middle Tennessee wants as well, because they've really struggled to stop the pass all season long.
Still tending to the injured player in the middle of the field for Jacksonville State, so we will hopefully see him rise up soon, and it looks like he is now at least to an upright position. That's a great sight for the fans here in attendance tonight. And Ethan, you mentioned it pregame, but a really nice contingent coming up here for Jacksonville State. They have a very dedicated fan base, and they're hoping to see their Gamecocks steal a victory here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a team that is liable to run it back this year and be in that conference championship game for football. And off with a little bit of support comes the offensive lineman. Can't quite see the number.
Looks like number 50, Cole Mazarlik, is going to come out of the game for Jacksonville State. And good to see him up and moving after that initial 3-yard run from Cam Cook. So it'll be 2nd down and 7, 12:45 to go here in our first quarter. Ball is at the Gamecocks' 28-yard line. Caden Creel, by the way, the quarterback for Jacksonville State, absolutely has the capability to take off and run in his own right. So that is another running option that Middle Tennessee is going to have to be aware of. 2nd down and 7 with a 3-receiver set, but you'd almost have to think it's going to Cook.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cook moves to the right side, and it's going to be a fake toss. Creel keeps it and runs right up the middle in between the tackles for a solid pickup on 2nd down. It'll set up 3rd and short.
Alex Mitchell on the stop, and it looks like they're going to run hurry up here.
4-yard gain, 3rd down and 3 coming up. 3 receivers to the right, and it's going to be a quick play. Handoff goes to Cook, and he's going to be stacked up in the backfield and will not make the line to gain. Middle Tennessee was ready for the quick snap, and they were all on top of Cam Cook.
And the linebackers did a great job there of plugging the holes. Alex Mitchell and Parker Hughes, 2 names we mentioned earlier, they were right there, saw where that run was going, and were able to bring it down. And they also did a great job, the defensive end did a great job of getting off his blocker to shut down the quarterback run if he so decided to pull it and keep it.
Boy, that is a massive stop for the Middle Tennessee defense early on. This defense currently number 4 in Conference USA in terms of rushing defense, as this punt is up and going to be a bit shorter, fielded right around the 30-yard line, and that's where Middle Tennessee will go to work. So the Blue Raider offense back out there, Jaquel Middlebrook fielding the kick, and it looks like we've got immediate timeout on the field, so we'll take one as well. Back in 2 minutes right here on the MTN Sports Network. Don't go anywhere.
Smokey the Bear. Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First, drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips. Because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Johnny Red Floyd Stadium on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University. Dylan Simmons and Ethan Williams on the call. Your score 0-0 with 11:43 to go in the first quarter. So far, Ethan, both defenses stepping up in a big way.
Yeah, 2 3-and-outs to start the game, or 1 3-and-out each. I see Squidward walking around on the concourse over there.
Oh, Squidward Tentacles here tonight.
Yep, Halloween coming up Friday night, so a lot of fans here dressed up in costumes. Saw a couple Minions earlier. I think I see a man dressed as a carrot in the student section. And MTSU now lining up, getting ready to try their second drive of the night.
I've heard you're going to be going as a Minion this year, actually.
I don't know who told you that.
Okay, I guess we'll have to confirm that story later on. 4 receivers set for Middle Tennessee, hoping to make things spooky on the Jacksonville State defense here a couple days before Halloween. Nick Vadiato will take the ball from the right hash, 1st and 10. Middlebrook motions out. Vadiato steps back, fires one deep down the field, has a man down there, and it's over the head of his intended target. Had a man streaking down this near sideline, Cameron Lacey, who had a couple touchdowns against Missouri State but couldn't haul that in.
Yeah, that one was actually a pretty good ball lengthwise. He had it dead on the receiver, but just a little off his right shoulder and out of bounds. He could have caught it, but he would have been out of bounds if he made the play. Just a few feet off on that pass. 2nd
down and 10. Ball is at the Middle Tennessee 31-yard line. Colder conditions tonight. This is the coldest game that either team has played this season, bar none. Vadiato takes the snap. Fires one over the middle. Ball caught. Hunter tipped in the big tight end. Goes hurtling over defenders and gets close to the 1st down marker. How about the big fella showing off some athleticism, Ethan?
That's something he likes to do. He did that twice against Kennesaw State, and that's his secret weapon, you could say. And now it's 3rd and about 1 yard for the Blue Raiders.
That is Hunter Tipton's 23rd catch of the season. Well over 200 yards now. He's got 2 total touchdowns and a long of 21 this season. 3rd down and 1 for Middle Tennessee. Ball at the 40-yard line after a 9-yard pickup. Vadiato motioning out A.J. Jones to the near side. Vadiato hands it off. Middlebrook takes it, tries to gash his way up the middle. It's going to be close. It'll probably depend on the spot. Looks initially, though, at least as far as I could tell, that he may have just had enough.
Well, it depends on which referee gets their way. The one on the far side of the field looks like he's giving him the 1st down. The one on our side of the field looks like he's calling him a little bit short, and they're going to give it to him.
Yep, 1st down. Middle Tennessee going no huddle here. 4 receiver set. They're going to hand off once again to Middlebrook, and it's about a carbon copy of what we just saw. He gets basically nothing on 1st down.
MTSU very brave to going back to that 3rd down play. Very brave to run it into a stacked box out of the shotgun. And normally on those short yardage situations, you want to get it under center, but you know what, it worked out for him, and now it's 2nd and long for the Blue Raiders.
They'll say he got a yard on that play, so 2nd down and 9 coming up. Middlebrook with over 500 rushing yards on the season, had a 100-plus yard rushing performance against Kennesaw State. Vadiato in the shotgun. 5 receivers in the formation. Vadiato fires one over the middle, and the ball is caught. Nice catch. Cam Lacey able to bring it in for a 1st down right around the 45-yard line.
Cam Lacey, he's a guy that's been working his way up the depth chart. At the start of the season, it was the Najee Cox show, but now Lacey's really stepped up and been able to make some big plays in the defense.
1st down and 10. Ball at the 43-yard line of Jacksonville State. Handoff goes to Middlebrook, and it goes nowhere. Would have been lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage on that play. 2nd and 10.
They had 2 men in the backfield, and neither one of them could bring Middlebrook down, but they slowed him down just enough for that 2nd level to come in and crash down and lead to a gain of nothing on the play.
Middlebrook has busted a few long runs this season. He has a season-long 72-yard rushing touchdown. So 2nd down and 10 coming up. Ball's at the Gamecocks 43. 3 receivers to the right of Vadiato. Steps back, needs time, rolls to his right, fires one towards the near sideline over the head of Cameron Lacey, and that'll set up 3rd down and 10. Vadiato looked a little bit uncomfortable trying to find Lacey that time. The Jack State pressure was getting to him.
I think that one may have been intended to go out of bounds, because even if that one got to Lacey, it would have been a hospital ball. The defender would have been in a great position to drop his shoulder and just lay Lacey out.
That's a good point. 3rd down and 10 with 8:52 to go here in our first quarter. So far scoreless between Middle Tennessee and Jacksonville State. Middle Tennessee has the all-time series advantage, but Jacksonville State has won the last 2 matchups, both of those in Conference USA play. 4 receiver set. Vadiato from the left hash fumbled the ball. It's still loose, and Vadiato has to dive on it And that's going to blow up the drive. A huge loss on third down, and that play was almost a huge disaster.
Yeah, that one just slipped out of his hands, and, we saw some rain. Things were getting a little soggy earlier, and that ball might be a little wet, especially if they're throwing some incompletions, and just slips right out of his fingers.
And it's been a rainy and dreary day in Murfreesboro up until about a couple hours ago. The rain finally subsided, at least for the most part, but rest assured field conditions and the conditions of the ball itself could still be a little treacherous for these guys. So Ashton Logan on to punt. He's already punted once tonight, got a pretty solid one off. Logan going to try to pin Jacksonville State deep, and this ball will land on the far sideline and take a pretty nice hop right around the 10-yard line. So that's where Jacksonville State will set up their offense. But first, we have a media timeout on the field, so we'll take one as well. Back in 2 minutes right here on the MTN Sports Network. Don't go anywhere.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First, drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips. Because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back. This is the MTN Sports Network. Dylan Simmons and Ethan Williams on the call with you tonight. Braden Blackwell is our studio host. 0-0 so far in this one. 8:04 to go in the first quarter. And Ethan, it's been somewhat of a defensive game so far. Just saw a pretty nice drive from Middle Tennessee, but unfortunately for them, it stalled out in opponent's territory.
Yeah, they got it down into about the 40 to 35-yard line, and then the ball's just a little wet because of some rain that just ended about an hour ago right before we went live, and just slipped right out of Adiato's hands, and he had to dive on it. Rough way to put an end to that drive, but now Jacksonville State backed up to their own 10-yard line after a phenomenal punt by MTSU special teams.
Yep, Jack State offense back out there. You've got Cam Cook in the backfield, but behind his quarterback, Caden Creel, and he's in the Ashton Genty stance, if you're familiar with that. Kind of looks like Michael Myers. 3-receiver set in the formation for Jack State, coming off a Conference USA championship a season ago. Defeated Western Kentucky to claim that conference crown in just their second year in the league. It's been a great transition for this former ASUN and OVC team. Handoff goes to Cook on first down. He works his way far side and maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Second down coming up.
Great run defense by this Blue Raider front seven. You saw him sending a blitz off that left side, the strong side of Jacksonville State's line, and that's right where Cam Cook was headed, and it got to him and was able to, actually, they're going to mark him a yard short.
So a loss of 1. Middle Tennessee allowing 142 rushing yards per game. Creel takes the snap, fires one down the field, and it's almost intercepted. Almost got a pick six for MTSU.
That's DeAndre McDonald, the graduate student from actually right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Yes, DeAndre McDonald able to make a great break on that football. Jack State doesn't go to the air all that often, and it almost cost them right there. 3rd and 11 coming up.
DRA, I'm sorry. I mispronounced his name there.
Still a great play by McDonald. 3-receiver set. Obvious passing situation for Jack State, although they are a team that doesn't like to throw it all that often. We'll see what Creel decides to do. He will take the snap. Backs up on the goal line. Fires one over the head of his intended target. And that'll bring up 4th down and 11. A good stop for Middle Tennessee. Intended receiver on that play was Caleb Coombs, and it's 4th down.
That was a really good pass by the quarterback for the most part. If it was just a few inches shorter, a few inches lower, the receiver would have been able to bring that one down, and that would have been a 1st down for Jacksonville State. And, man, I'm really impressed with this Blue Raider defense so far. The defense has really been MTSU's, well, their offense has been their biggest liability, but the secondary in particular has been their biggest liability on defense. But they just bowed up and stayed strong right there.
They certainly have. Caleb Coombs, the team leader in receptions, didn't have a chance at that one, and this punt is shanked. It's going to be taking a Jacksonville State bounce and ends up being down right around the 46-yard line of Middle Tennessee. So had a pretty nice bounce to it, but didn't have a great start to it. Looks like we'll have another media timeout on the field, so we'll take one as well. Back in 2 minutes right here on the MTN Sports Network. Score tied 0-0.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a 3rd-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt U.S. Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt U.S. Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Back at Floyd Stadium, Dylan Simmons and Ethan Williams on the call. Middle Tennessee and Jacksonville State here on a Wednesday night, the final week of weekday CUSA action in 2025. We're having a great time so far. You know, the matchup history between these two goes as follows. Middle Tennessee with a 14-3-2 advantage over Jacksonville State, but Jack State has won the last 2 CUSA games. Won last year 42-20 and had a 438-67 rushing yard advantage against MTSU. But so far tonight, Ethan, both teams in both departments pretty well even.
Yeah, so far this has been a very even match for both the Blue Raiders and the Gamecocks on the defensive side of things. Offense, neither team really able to get much going. MTSU only with, I think, 2 first downs on the night so far. Jacksonville State without any. And they've got some great field position right here. They're set up just at about the 46-yard line, it looks like. And with how great your defense has been playing and this amazing field position, you kind of feel that you have to come away with points some way or somehow, no matter what, on this drive.
Middle Tennessee with a 27-7-yard advantage so far against Jacksonville State. And as you mentioned, partner, they have 2 first downs. The Gamecocks currently with 0. First down and 10 for Middle Tennessee. Ball at the 46-yard line for the Blue Raiders after the shanked punt by Jacksonville State. Got a 4-receiver set. Badiato with Lacey on the wide receiver sweep. Nope, Vadiato keeps it. Vadiato takes off up the middle and gets a good gain on first down. Nice job by Nick Vadiato to find the open hole and move the chains for Middle Tennessee.
Vadiato can run it too, and it's something that they don't like to use a lot, but it was very crucial in their win over Nevada. Vadiato liable to take off with it as well.
Vadiato takes the snap. Ricky Hunt Jr. now in at tailback. Play fake. Vadiato unloads the cannon for Lacey. Incomplete. He had him wide open, and the quarterback just couldn't hit his intended target.
He threw that one right down the left hash of the offense, and Lacey just couldn't get there in time. I think that's more so on the receiver than it is Vadiato on that play. But now it's still 2nd and 10 on some good field position. The Blue Raiders can make something out of this.
Well, that was certainly a good time to go for the deep shot, and Vadiato had an opportunity, but just couldn't hit Cam Lacey. Lacey already with 1 catch for 15 yards so far tonight. Looks like we got a run formation here, at least for the moment. It's going to be a reverse, and taking it on the end around for Middle Tennessee and getting some good yardage here on 2nd down is going to be number 19, and that from Middle Tennessee is Kaysen Stokes.
Kaysen Stokes, the redshirt freshman, a transfer who came in this spring, transferred out of the University of Central Florida. Hoping to get him very involved in this offense, as he's quite a good player.
He's got a lot of speed as well, and he took off in a big way on that 2nd down and 10. Gets the ball all the way down to the 28-yard line for Middle Tennessee. Blue Raiders threatening to put the first points on the scoreboard in this game with 6 minutes to go, roughly, here in this first quarter. 3 men in the backfield, 1 to the left and 1 to the right of Nick Vadiato. Now Vadiato motions out his target, rolls to his right, looking down the field, has a man open. It's Hunter Tipton, makes the catch, and bounds his way around the 15-yard line to move the chains for Middle Tennessee, it looks like.
Vadiato was looking deep, but his man wasn't there, so we went to his safety route, Hunter Tipton, who was wide open and was able to get the first down. I thought he was stopped a little bit short, but the Blue Raiders are now in the red zone.
2 catches for Hunter Tipton tonight. That was his first of the drive, and it's a huge one. Blue Raiders in the red zone for the first time in this game. Ball at the Gamecocks' 16-yard line. Ricky Hunt Jr. still in at tailback. 3 receiver set. Will they go to the air here? Miles Butler comes in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Ricky Hunt Jr., and he is swallowed up in the backfield. Big number 91 for Jacksonville State there to make the play. Great play by Garen Stransberry.
Actually doing in there on that run was number 29, DJ Taylor,
DJ
a
Taylor,
true
my
freshman
apologies, yes.
out of Riverdale High School, a Murfreesboro native who's been able to work his way up the depth chart and make some big plays in just his freshman year for the Blue Raiders.
Yeah, I didn't see Ricky Hunt Jr. check out there. Either way, DJ Taylor is in as the tailback now. Good catch, partner. 3 receiver set. Vadiato hands off. It's DJ Taylor working his way up the middle, and he's able to get inside the 10-yard line to bring up a 3rd down and short for Middle Tennessee.
This Gamecock defense unable to stop the Blue Raiders right now, and, well, it's a 3rd and medium. Blue Raiders, they smell blood in the water, and they're hoping to strike right here to go up early in today's match.
The balance of the offense has been really impressive on this possession, and DJ Taylor getting a couple of nice runs on this possession as well. 4 receivers set for the Blue Raiders. 3rd down and 4 coming up. 4:19 to go here in our first quarter. Right at the dead center portion of the field. Vadiato takes the snap. Fires one open to DJ Taylor on the far side. Breaks a tackle and gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Blue Raiders.
Breaking down that play there, the Gamecocks brought pressure. They brought 6 men in on the blitz, and Vadiato was able to recognize that early and throw it out to the flat to DJ Taylor, who was able to take it off for his first touchdown in his collegiate career.
What a job by DJ Taylor, and what a day to get your first receiving touchdown for Middle Tennessee. A 10-yard touchdown for number 29, a 7-play, 54-yard drive to put 6 on the board for the Blue Raiders. 4:05 to go in the quarter. Extra point coming up here for Jacob Hathaway, but what a drive here by Middle Tennessee to put themselves on the scoreboard, and the snap is muffed. The ball is loose. Jacksonville State trying to return it, a scrum for the football. So a botched operation on the extra point. It's only going to be a 6-0 lead, but regardless, Middle Tennessee on the scoreboard and doing it in pretty great fashion.
Yeah, the field's still wet, and so is the ball, and the holder was just dropped the ball before the kicker could get to it. I'm sorry, and so what could have been a 7-0 lead is now just a 6-0 lead.
That's another MTSU touchdown, sponsored by MTSU Campus Recreation. With a variety of leisure and recreation activities, you always score big with MTSU Campus Rec. Visit today at 1848 Blue Raider Drive in Murfreesboro. And how about the effectiveness of Nick Vadiato and DJ Taylor on this possession? As you mentioned, partner, Taylor's been working his way up the depth chart, snuck in on the back half of that possession, and was able to bring home the touchdown on the receiving end of a pass from Nick Vadiato.
DJ Taylor is, like we mentioned, a true freshman from Riverdale High School here in Murfreesboro, and he was Riverdale's whole offense back when he was in high school, and seems like that's translating pretty well over to the collegiate level.
DJ Taylor of Middle Tennessee on top 6-0. Jacksonville State in a very uncharacteristic position. They haven't been down much this season. However, they have had some struggles on the road. Gamecocks just 1-3 so far this season in road games. And this looking like it could be a little bit tougher than some were expecting for the Gamecocks. Ball kicked deep, and it'll be fair caught, or actually bounced into the end zone over the head of Caleb Nix, who is usually back to return those kicks. So Jacksonville State will go to work right around the 20-yard line, 25-yard line to be exact. And Middle Tennessee's defense will try to do what they've done all night long so far, and that's bow up on the Jacksonville State offensive core.
Looks like Kason Stokes got a little hurt on that play. He was able to get up and jog off the field a little gingerly, but good to see that he's able to bring himself off the field without any assistance.
Yeah, I remember Stokes had a big play on the end around on that possession as well for Middle Tennessee. 3 men in the backfield for Jacksonville State. Cam Cook is in motion, and he's going to get it on actually it's a quarterback keeper. Caden Creel keeps it and runs toward the right side of the line to get a pretty solid gain on first down.
Brought down by number 3, Alex Mitchell. Mitchell, a transfer from the University of Chattanooga, also from Riverdale High School. So some big plays being made by some Riverdale alum early in this game.
It'll be second down with the ball at the 32-yard line. A 7-yard gain on first down for the Gamecocks. Another man comes in motion. It's Cook once again, and this time they'll have Creel keep it on that same style of play, a fake sweep. Creel takes it right up the middle, and the quarterback with the keeper to move the chains.
Great job blocking there by the offensive line to get into the second level and just get enough space for the quarterback to scramble his way for the first down.
Caden Creel with 438 rushing yards on the season entering this game, and the redshirt sophomore from Fairhope, Alabama, having his way with the Middle Tennessee defense on this possession. This time Cook does get the handoff, and he's just not finding a lot of daylight against that Middle Tennessee defensive line. They're able to stack him up once again for a gain of maybe 2 or 3.
That doesn't look like it was Cook.
Or that was not
play.
Cook. My apologies. Yes.
That was number 32 for the Gamecocks. But they're lining up here. They got Cook lined out wide as a wide receiver and trips to the left.
Yep, it's going to be Cook in as a receiver. They sometimes do this. So second down and 5 coming up. They gave him 5 on that carry. Play fake. Creel in trouble. DeMonte Smith was coming after him. And Creel still trying to evade pressure. Now gets away and dives forward. He'll be just a hair short of the first down. Middle Tennessee almost brought the quarterback down on that play.
Bringing pressure on that play was number 92 for Middle Tennessee, DeMonte Smith, who's been named a midseason All-American, as he's been having a very solid career so far for the Blue Raiders.
That was Christian Lando, by the way, who took the handoff earlier on that possession. Here's another handoff, and it'll be a first down for Jacksonville State as they went quickly on that snap and were able to get just the yardage they were looking for.
Great run there by the backup running back for the Gamecocks. I believe that is
Christian Lando once again, who took the handoff that time.
Christian Lando, a redshirt freshman from Cartersville, Georgia.
Doesn't get a whole lot of rushes, at least compared to Cam Cook, so catches you off guard when anybody other than Cam Cook gets the ball. But Lando's been getting a lot of work on this, and he just bounces off a Middle Tennessee defender on this handoff. May have gotten a yard, though, on that play. Middle Tennessee doing a good job of stacking him up near the line of scrimmage.
Alex Mitchell there on the stop again. Alex Mitchell, a player that set a school record at the University of Tennessee Chattanooga for tackles in a season, transferred back home to MTSU, and is making an impact so far.
Cook and Lando both in the backfield on this play, and it's going to be instead, it's a Keel rolling to the right side, trying to find some space. Now he will take off and gets wrestled out of bounds and tripped up. It'll bring up third down and medium.
MCSU had a QB spy on that play, and he was able to prevent Keel from just taking off as soon as he went off his first read, and they will gain some yards on that, but it's a lot less than what they could have got.
3rd down and 5 coming up. Lando in the backfield. Cook is lined up as a wide receiver. 3 receivers to the right of Caden Creel on 3rd and medium. Ball at the Middle Tennessee 43-yard line and the right hash.
Looks like they tried to get him jump off sides.
That they did. Play clock is down to 12 seconds. Now it's going to be Lando moving to the left of Caden Creel. Cook comes in motion. 3rd down and 5, and it will be a handoff. Christian Lando is not going to get enough yardage this time. Middle Tennessee all over him on the far side of the field, and it brings up 4th down.
The punt team not coming out for Jacksonville State. They may be going for it here on 4th and 4.
Yeah, 4th and 4 will be coming up in just a moment. We'll see if they snap this before the end of the quarter. They're lining up to do so, but they're not going to get the snap off. So that'll do it for our first quarter of action. Middle Tennessee currently on top 6-0. Back in 2 right here on the MTN Sports Network.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First, drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips. Because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the MTN Sports Network. Dylan Simmons and Ethan Williams on the call. Second quarter on tap between the Blue Raiders and the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. Middle Tennessee on top 6-0. Our scoreboard tonight sponsored by the MTSU Charlie and Hazel Daniels Veterans Military Family Center. Support their mission to provide transition services for veterans and their families. Go to mtsu.edu/military for more information. DJ Taylor with the lone touchdown of the first quarter, a 10-yard receiving touchdown from Nick Vadiato as the Blue Raiders marched it right down the field against this usually imposing Jacksonville State defense. And they've got the advantage early on a cold Wednesday night, and they're doing a pretty solid job, at least so far, of kind of controlling this Jacksonville State run defense here, Ethan.
Not sure. There we go. They sure have, and the Jacksonville State offense has really struggled against this Blue Raider front seven, but the Blue Raiders have a mean front seven. One of their defensive linemen was named a midseason All-American, and they've got two phenomenal linebackers back there. Alex Mitchell, of course, we were talking about him earlier, transferred in from the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, where he was their leading tackler and decided to come home for his last year of college eligibility. There was a lot of hype around him coming into this year, but then due to an unfortunate injury in week one, he's missed a lot of time, and this is his second full game back since that injury. And, man, what an impact he's having so far.
He has completely changed the complexion of this MTSU defense thus far. Jacksonville State, of course, the number 3 rushing offense in the country. They average 276 yards per game, but so far just 40 rushing yards through one quarter. They're going to have to get a lot more to do what they want to do against Middle Tennessee. A big 4th down and 4 coming up for the Gamecocks, and the offense is still out on the football field. Going to be aggressive, down 6-0 early here in the first play of the second quarter. They've got 2 running backs in the backfield. You've got Cam Cook to the right, and it looks like you got Christian Lando to the left of Caden Creel. No, actually, Creel's on the far left side. Creel is going to keep it. Now look to throw, runs down the field, dives forward, and it's going to be close. Jacksonville State thinks that Creel got enough for the first down, and it looks initially like he's going to have enough. So it is a first down for Jacksonville State. A big run that time by Caden Creel.
Yeah, big run by him, and they're running hurry up already.
Yeah, they're going no huddle here, trying to catch Middle Tennessee off guard. But before that, we've got a stoppage of play.
I think they're going to review this.
Yeah, I think they're going to take a look to see exactly what happened.
Yeah, earlier we're seeing this, the far side line judge, the line judge on Jacksonville State's sideline, he's been pretty liberal with the spotting of the ball, and the line judge over on our side towards MTSU's sideline has been spotting it a little short of where I believe it's been placed. So we'll see here what they come up with. I don't know if he got there. We'll see if they put the review on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, we'll be taking a look at that, and the yard line to gain, if I'm not mistaken, on that play was the 38-yard line, so right where they've spotted the ball. They gave him enough initially, and of course in these situations, Ethan, we say it a lot, it's all about whether or not you have indisputable video evidence, and that's what they're going to have to look to see is, did Creel have enough there from what we see on the video to have this play get brought back? He dove forward, and the thing that I'm curious about is that his left or right knee, one of the two, looked like it went down before he maybe was able to stretch that ball out. There's no video on the Tron to confirm this, but that's what I saw initially, and I'm sure that's what the Conference USA officiating crew here tonight is taking a look at.
Yeah, and I want to talk about Cam Cook here for a second. Cam Cook, their leading back, number 4, 900 rushing yards on the season, leads Conference USA in total rushing yards. And actually, he leads Division I. Out of all Division I schools, he has the most rushing yards with 949 yards, averaging, get this, Dylan, 135.6 yards per game. There are some offenses that total don't even average that, and here we have a singular player doing that. Phenomenal plays by him. Of the last 10 Doak Walker Award recipients, Cook's average rushing per game pace is ahead of 3. Ollie Gordon in 2023, Bijan Robinson, who's now with the Falcons in 2022, and Najee Harris in 2020. His 12-game pace puts him at a projected 1,626 rushing yards. If the Gamecocks were to get a 13th game, that pace would put him at 1,762, which would be the 9th most rushing yards in a season over the last 7 seasons.
He is nothing short of sensational. Transferred from TCU coming into this season, led the Horned Frogs in rushing yards last year, came to Jacksonville State to win a championship, a Conference USA championship in particular. And this Gamecock squad, especially with Cam Cook, certainly has the capability to do that. He was also a track star in high school and also competed in the long jump. His nickname is the Chef, and, well, you can see why with the last name Cook. And he usually, more often than not, is able to cook up defenses on a nightly basis, although he has been a little bit limited tonight, and that's thanks to the Middle Tennessee defense and what they've been able to do so far.
Yeah, Dylan, and still getting a look on the field. They're still trying to decide whether or not he was short.
And the fact that this review has taken as long as it has would indicate that they may go ahead and reverse this. Usually if it takes a while, they're going to end up bringing a play back, and they're trying to figure out exactly where to spot the football. If that is the case, it's a massive stop for MTSU here in the early portions and the early moments of the second quarter. Completely changes the dynamic going into whatever this next possession looks like. If MTSU's got the ball up 6-0, could get a lot more aggressive and try to go up 2 scores early.
So they're going to remeasure, according to the on-field official.
I've never quite seen this after a review, Ethan. I don't think you usually remeasure the spot after what you saw in a video review, but that's what they're going to do here. So the ball was initially spotted at the 38, and they're maybe going to move it a slight bit.
Looks like they're trying to put it down on the 0, in the middle of the 0 on that 40.
All right, so we assume we'll get the chain gang out here and have a quick measurement to determine whether or not it reached that first down line to gain. Of course, we have no yellow marker up here. That's just for the folks watching the TV broadcast tonight. This is, without question, a massive potential play on either side. So they're bringing out the chains. It's either a Jacksonville State first down or Middle Tennessee takes over. And he looks to be just a little bit short. Couple chain links short, and Middle Tennessee's defense gets a massive stop on fourth down after the review. What a change of pace, and what a job by this Blue Raider defense so far.
Phenomenal job by the defense, and an odd way to do it. Never, as the rain looks like it's coming back down, so expect to see the ground game pick up, as it's hard to throw the ball when it's wet. But man, never seen an officiating crew do that before, where they respot the ball and then decide to measure it. But the Blue Raiders are now back on offense and get a chance to go up 2 scores.
That's new for me, partner, but Middle Tennessee's not going to be complaining about it in the slightest. 14:37 to go in the second quarter, and they've got the ball now officially at the 39-yard line, so they moved it back about a half yard, and that was enough for MTSU to take over. We'll see what the Blue Raiders do on this first down. One receiver to the right of Vadiato. Vadiato tosses it to the near side, and moving up the field nicely is Jaquel Middlebrook. He is hit out of bounds late, no flag, as it was pretty minimal contact with Caleb Nix, and that'll move the chains for the Blue Raiders.
Yeah, they had a bunch formation to the left. That means it's kind of like trips, but they move it a bit closer to the line and did a great job blocking there. And so that's going to be a first down for the Blue Raiders.
Caleb Nix, by the way, the brother of Bo Nix, quarterback for the Denver Broncos, in case you wanted to know for those at home. First down and 10 for Middle Tennessee, ball at the Gamecocks' 48-yard line and on the left hash. 3 receivers set for Vadiato. As Ethan mentioned, the rain is coming down now. It's going to be a handoff to Middlebrook. He's trying to bounce his way off of tacklers, but he will not be able to escape the grip of big number 99, Emmanuel Oibadejo, the junior out of Manchester, England. Only started playing football a couple of years ago, and he has been a sensational pickup for the Jacksonville State Gamecocks.
Yeah, they had him one-on-one with number 9, Zach Clayton, the sophomore out of Georgia. And that was just a big man versus another slightly smaller man. And, well, the Gamecocks were able to take advantage of that. And now some shifting going on for the offense for the Blue Raiders.
Oyabadejo of Nigerian descent, as I mentioned, from Manchester, England. He played a different type of football growing up. 2nd and 11. Vadiato firing one far side of the field. Incomplete. It was in and out of the hands of Najee Cox on that far sideline. Would have been a huge gain. Instead, it's 3rd and 11.
Yeah, like I said, when the rain starts coming down, that ball gets a little bit wet. And something that I've heard is that it's actually, Cox looks like he's hurt.
Yeah, Najee Cox at the end of that play is gripping his
ankle,
right ankle, and that is not a good sign for Middle Tennessee. One of the most dynamic wide receivers in Conference USA, currently down on the turf, and he is clutching that ankle with his helmet off. Najee Cox, of course, a leader in many stats for Conference USA, number 6 in CUSA in receiving yards, number 1 still in receiving touchdowns with 5 this season. While they attend to Najee Cox, we're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back in 2 minutes right here on the MTN Sports Network. Don't go anywhere.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First, drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said,
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips. Because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Floyd Stadium on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University. Dylan Simmons, Ethan Williams on the call. Najee Cox able to come off the field just a moment ago under his own power. Not sure the severity of his potential injury. We'll hope that it's nothing too serious. Pretty interesting coaching matchup tonight. Derek Mason in his second season as Middle Tennessee head coach. 4-15 record so far for the Blue Raiders. Former head coach the Vanderbilt Commodores, who are flying high this year. And, of course, Jacksonville State after the departure of Rich Rodriguez under first-year head coach Charles Kelly and leading Jacksonville State to a great start in CUSA play, Ethan.
Yeah, Najee Cox, see him on the sideline here. He just picked his helmet back up. He was running back and forth on the sideline. Just twisted that angle a little bit, but it seems like it's fine now.
All right, third down and 11 with 13:08 to go in the second quarter. And as you can tell, the cold is really starting to set in for us up here in the press box. Got some frosted lips, I guess. Third down and 11 for Vadiato and the Blue Raiders with a man in the backfield, Jakail Middlebrook. Three receivers to the left.
Jacksonville State showing heavy pressure, and now they're going to audible and shift around.
Vadiato taking his time, now takes the snap. Rolls out, looks over the middle, incomplete. He was trying to find his man up on the far side of the field, or excuse me, the near side, A.J. Jones. Incomplete, fourth down.
Yeah, that pass just a little bit behind Jones there. He was open. If he would have caught it, he could have got the first down, but that ball just a few feet away from being catchable by Jones.
And a little bit misplaced by Nick Vadiato, and that'll send on Ashton Logan for yet another punt. He's had a couple of solid ones so far, and he'll be looking to pin Jacksonville State deep once again. 13:03 to go here in our second quarter of action. Blue Raiders trying to win their second game of the season. Their other win came against Nevada back in September, 14-13. Logan gets off a pretty big booming punt. Caleb Nix back deep to return, but he's not even going to get a chance as it hops to the 6-yard line and is fielded there. That's where the Middle Tennessee defense will go to work, and the same will be said for the Jacksonville State offense. So as far as field position goes, this is a good spot for Middle Tennessee to be in, and Jacksonville State, Ethan, has to drive the length of the field.
Yeah, and MTSU's been doing a great job of backing Jacksonville up in their own end zone. We saw them barely be able to get out of it last time, and now we'll see if they can do it here. And then, of course, if they punt in this situation, then that means MTSU is going to get the ball back, barring some tragedy. They're going to get the ball back in good field position and are liable to go back down and score.
We'll see what offensive coordinator Clint Trickett for Jacksonville State has drawn up here, former West Virginia quarterback. Two receivers set. It's going to be a handoff this time, and some pretty nice yardage for Jacksonville State on first down, a pickup of maybe 4 or 5 to set up second and medium.
That was Cook on that run, and that's his longest run of the night. And that's going to be a 5-yard run, they're going to say.
Good work by Cam Cook on that pickup. Second down and 5 coming up for Jacksonville State. Two receivers to the right of Caden Creel and this offense. Now a couple men come in motion as they try to catch Middle Tennessee off guard. And they're going to hand it off once again to Cook, who got pretty well met towards the line of scrimmage and then plowed ahead for a few more yards. It'll set up third down and probably about 3.
Thrown off his balance there by Alex Mitchell. Alex Mitchell just dropped the shoulder into him, and Cook was able to stumble his way ahead for just a few more yards, and now it's third and short for the Gamecocks.
And Ethan, this rain is really starting to come down at Floyd Stadium right now. It's going to make the passing game and really handling the football all the more tougher. Third down and 3, 11:50 to go here in our first half. It's going to be a handoff to Cook once again. He bounces away from the line of scrimmage and somehow finds daylight on the near side and gets drilled right around the 17-yard line. It's going to be close to a first down. We'll see if they give him the spot.
I think he got there, but there's a Blue Raider hurt on the sideline.
There is an injured Blue Raider. Diarra McDonald on the sideline is currently down. Remember, he almost had that near pick six earlier. They will give the first down to Jacksonville State. So McDonald injured on the Blue Raider sideline. This will not stop the game due to McDonald being down over there, but they will have to send in a substitute. At least looks like initially that'll be the case, and now there will be a timeout on the field.
An official timeout. I want to go back to that play a little bit there, Dylan, because the Jacksonville State offensive line did a great job of shutting down number 11, Brandon Buckner, the outside linebacker of the Blue Raiders. Buckner was trying to set the edge. He was trying to get off there to make sure that Cook couldn't bounce it outside, but the offensive line did a great job of just kicking him out and not letting him get into the backfield, and Cook was able to bounce it and go for a first down.
And that's just great determination and great vision by Cam Cook on that play to not give up on it. Despite being met in the backfield, he still found a way to get some positive yardage and move the chains for Jacksonville State. Another first down presented tonight by MT One Stop. First down and 10 with 11:28 to go here in our second quarter. It's going to be a handoff on first down, and Cook trying to get some daylight. He may have been lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage that time, still fighting for yardage after initially being stopped. And it'll set up second and long for the Gamecocks.
That just some great swarm tackling by this Blue Raider defense, and it limits an explosive player to just 2 yards on that play, and Jacksonville State's running the hurry up.
Second down and 8. 4 receivers set. Cook takes it again, trying to run in between the tackles on the near side, and he just couldn't find a lot of daylight. Maybe got a yard, if that. Third down and long coming up for Jack State.
Parker Hughes and Parker Hughes and Chase Smith on the initial contact. Alex Mitchell to bring him to the ground. And now we've got a third and manageable for the Gamecocks, but this could be a fourth down depending on what happens here.
Third down and 6 for Jacksonville State. They have 3 first downs so far in this game. Looking for number 4 right here. They're 2 for 5 on third down so far. 3 receivers set. From the right hash, Creel steps back, fires one over the middle, and it is going to be caught. Nope, incomplete. Actually, the ball was dropped that time by his intended receiver, Pearson Baldwin, the tight end, and that's going to bring up fourth down and 6.
The linebacker Parker Hughes in on coverage there. Parker, a phenomenal player against the run, has struggled in the pass game so far this season, but he was able to stick with his man and force the incompletion. The tight end just wasn't able to make what they call a football move to secure the catch. And so now it's fourth down, and MTSU can get some good field position here on this punt return.
Baldwin with 164 receiving yards on the season, but he will not add to it. Some pressure from Middle Tennessee special teams on that punt attempt. Almost got to it. The ball takes a Jack State bounce, and a nice one. Rolls all the way inside the 40-yard line, and that's where Middle Tennessee will set up shop. Jack State has had trouble punting the football so far tonight, but not that time. So first down and 10 coming up with 10:02 to go here in our first half. We'll take a 2-minute timeout and be right back to Murfreesboro. Don't go anywhere, right here on the MTN Sports Network.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
It's what you desire. Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com, and remember,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First, drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said,
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips. Because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Nothing like weekday CUSA action here on the MTN Sports Network. Dylan Simmons and Ethan Williams on the call. Just a couple of nights before Halloween, Middle Tennessee on top 6-0, and they have been scary on defense so far, holding up the top running back in the country, Cam Cook, and the Jacksonville State offense. And the Blue Raider offense has found a way to hit pay dirt once with a DJ Taylor receiving touchdown. They'll try to add to that by starting this possession right around the 40-yard line.
More good field position for Middle Tennessee so far. And that one did take a Jacksonville State to set them up at the 36-yard line, the Blue Raiders, that is. And now Nick Vadiano is going to rally his troops. And we'll see if the Blue Raiders can get in the end zone a second time.
43-yard punt by Connor Donahue set that up. So Nick Vadiano will go to work. So far, Vadiano in this game with 54 passing yards, 6 for 11, and a passing touchdown. Shotgun formation, fires one over the middle, incomplete. Had a man open, but just could not hit his man in stride. Looked to be A.J. Jones that time, 2nd down and 10.
A.J. Jones, a transfer from the University of Central Florida. We mentioned him before, but he's been seeing more reps on offense so far this season, and he was really quiet to start off. We saw more Miles Butler and Najee Cox, but as the season has progressed, we've been seeing more A.J. Jones and more Cameron Lacey.
2nd down and 10, 9:57 to go here in our first half of action. Ball's on the 36-yard line. One receiver to the left of Nick Vadiano, who's been trying to find his groove thus far in this game. Been quiet the past couple drives. It'll be a handoff to Jaquale Middlebrook, and he is going nowhere. Running games for both sides really just haven't been able to get a lot going in the early going, and that'll set up 3rd and long.
Yeah, they're going to call that one dead, and a great job by this front seven at Jacksonville State to read the run. Earlier when MTSU got in that formation, they ran a pitch to the right and had plenty of blockers to get the first down. This time they run it off to the weak side. They don't have any extra blockers on that left side of the line, and Jacksonville State crashed hard on that weak side, and, well, that got stopped at the line, they're going to call it.
Middle Tennessee does not want to make this a running type of game. They have the number 11 rushing offense in CUSA, 85.7 yards per game. They prefer to go to the air if they can. Shotgun for Vadiano. High snap. Rolls back. Fires one down the field into traffic, and it's incomplete. He had his intended target, but he just couldn't get the ball to be reeled in. That was number 8, Amarian Walker, who had it and then dropped it.
Amarian Walker, a former 4-star recruit, transferred in from the University of Michigan, and they expected him to be a much bigger part of this offense than what he has been. But, you know, that's part of the issue of passing it in these wet conditions like this, Dylan. The ball's a lot harder to reel in. So now 4th and 10 for the Blue Raiders.
4th down and 10 coming up for Middle Tennessee. Ashton Logan to come on again. Had several solid punts already tonight, and he's going to need to keep doing that with Middle Tennessee's inability to move the ball offensively so far in the second quarter. Logan gets off a booming punt. He's just been great punting the football tonight. Caleb Nix will make a fair catch right around the 17-yard line. That's where Jacksonville State will send out their offense, and we'll take another media timeout with 8:57 to go here in our first half. Your score, Middle Tennessee 6, Jacksonville State 0. Back in 2 right here on the MTN Sports Network.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What's what you desire? Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at smokeybear.com. And remember,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First, drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on smokeybear.com with other wildfire prevention tips. Because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Back at Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Dylan Simmons and Ethan Williams on the call right here on the MTN Sports Network. 8:57 to go in the half. Your score, Middle Tennessee 6, Jacksonville State nothing on a bit of a rainy night here in the Borough, and right now it's favoring Middle Tennessee and their effective defense, shutting down Cam Cook and the Jacksonville State rushing offense so far.
And, something that's not often talked about at the rush attack is, it may not succeed at first, but you just keep pounding the ball because eventually the defense gets to a point where they don't want to get hit anymore. And so then your rushing attack gets stronger as the game goes on.
Jacksonville State with the number 3 rushing offense in the country, number 1 offense in Conference USA, 30.7 points per game. Man in motion right now, and it looks like it's going to be Caden Creel keeping the football on the far side of the field and not getting much on first down. In fact, he didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage.
Man, what a great play there. Coming down from the secondary, that's number 31, Mathis Malachi Donaldson, the outside linebacker, who just made a great play there.
They're going quick here, and they're going to get the throw out to the near side of the field. Gavin Wimsatt able to make the catch. He usually comes in as the quarterback for Jacksonville State, but they line him up as a wide receiver this time, and he gets some positive yardage on second down.
Yeah, Brandon Harris there was able to push him out of bounds. Poor tackling there by Harris. Just dropped his shoulder instead of wrapping up, and that led Jacksonville State to get just 1 or 2 more yards before he finally went out of bounds.
3rd down and 5 for Jack State. 3 receivers set for Caden Creel as they go to the air. Now Cam Cook comes in motion. They're going to do an end around, and it goes back to the quarterback, Creel. Screen pass on the far side of the field to Cam Cook, and he's got plenty of green grass in front of him as he cuts back against the green, stays on his feet, and is finally tackled right around the 43-yard line. What a big pickup for Jack State.
What a unique screenplay there by Jacksonville State. They had Cook lined up as a receiver, put him in motion, snapped the ball, and then had the whole line shift with him to set up blockers on that screen pass.
What a way to get the junior from Round Rock, Texas, the football. It was very effective for Jack State. This is a potential double pass. Wimsatt looks down the field, has a man open, and the ball is caught. Streaking to the end zone is DeAndre Johnson. The Gamecocks with a gadget play to get on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's poor defense there played by the secondary. They crashed down when they saw the short pass instead of sticking with their man. And so that left a one-on-one between the receiver and number 7, Brendan Harris, and Harris wasn't able to come up with the ball. He got burnt there, actually, and that's going to be a touchdown for Jacksonville State. And it looks like Jacksonville State, looks like they might be lining up to go for 2. Nope, never mind. Here comes the kicker.
What a play design that time by Jack State, and we were wondering why Gavin Wimsatt was lined up as a wide receiver on that possession. We now know why. They had intentions to use him for a double pass, and it worked to perfection as the senior quarterback for Jack State threw a dime on that lateral from Caden Creel. Garrison Ripa on to attempt the extra point. The lefty kicker for the Gamecocks is able to put it up and through the uprights. So Jacksonville State is on top 7-6 with a unique play design. And, man, who would have thought that Jack State would go to the air in that fashion to get on the scoreboard, Ethan?
Yeah, what a unique play. I mean, they had a very unique screen. We talked about it earlier. They had Cam Cook lined out to the right of the quarterback, put him in motion. Quarterback snaps the ball, fakes the jet sweep, and then the 4 of the 5 offensive linemen shift with Cook over to that left side of the field, and the quarterback hits him on the screen pass, gets some great yardage there. And then on that play, we saw the double quarterback action. The number 12 tossed it to number 2, and number 2 threw it over the head of the defense. And, man, Jacksonville State's now on top in this one.
That is DeAndre Johnson's first receiving touchdown of the season, and he got it on a massive 56-yard pass from the backup quarterback, Gavin Wimsatt, who started the first few games of the year. Caden Creel took his job towards the midpoint of this season, but Wimsatt making a huge impact tonight and getting the Gamecocks on the scoreboard in a very unorthodox fashion. And, folks, we've got a contest here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee now, as the Blue Raiders will look for a response. They've got DJ Taylor back deep to try to make things exciting for Middle Tennessee on special teams. Ripa to send it away for the team in all white tonight. Middle Tennessee with blue jerseys and silver helmets, the traditional Blue Raider look. Ripa sends it to the left hash, and the ball is fielded by Taylor around the 5-yard line. DJ Taylor staying upright, getting some yardage, and it'll be finally shoved out of bounds a little bit past the 25-yard line. So after dominating most of the first and early part of the second quarter, Middle Tennessee now finds themselves down 7-6, but as we've said many times before, Ethan, no need to panic.
Yeah, this is going to be a low-scoring game. I mean, they had 2 trick plays there that were able to gash the Blue Raider defense, but the trickery isn't always going to work, and MTSU has been able to shut down their offense otherwise. MTSU, though, really needs to get their offense clicking if they want to stay competitive in this one. They're already down by 1 point, and if they're not careful, if Vadiato throws an interception or they have a fumble here, something that MTSU is liable to do, then Jacksonville State could get the ball back in great field position.
Phenomenal play call that time by Clint Trickett, the offensive coordinator. Vadiato throws far side, ball caught, but Najee Cox is not going to pick up much more yardage than that. Maybe got 2 or 3 there on first down.
Yeah, they're going to give him forward motion on that play, despite him getting wrangled around back into the backfield, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 6. MTSU going in the no huddle.
Yeah, no huddle once again for Middle Tennessee. We saw this earlier. 4-yard pickup on first down. Handoff up the middle, and getting some yardage there for Middle Tennessee to make it 3rd down and 2.
Middlebrook, or
DJ Taylor came in at running back that time, yes.
Taylor, the true freshman, having a really solid season so far. He's really stepped up as the season's gone on, and now it's going to be 3rd and short for the Blue Raiders.
3rd down and 2 for Middle Tennessee. They're using DJ Taylor a lot more in this football game as MTSU sends in some more substitutes. A.J. Jones checks out of the game, and they're going to bring in for Middle Tennessee number 88, Tavion Galloway, big tight end.
Running a 3 tight end set here.
Don't see this every day. It's going to be a toss play. Taylor's got it on the far side, banging his way ahead. Had to brush off a tackler, and let's see. It's going to be close on that far side of the field. He was brought down right near the marker, it looked like.
They're going to say it's 4th down, 4th and 1, and Derek Mason, he's known to go for it, and I see him doing it here. He's done it for 4th and longer on worse spots of the field.
Yeah, it's 4th down and 1 at their own 36-yard line. This is a gutsy call if they go that way, and they're not going to. They're going to send Ashton Logan and the punt team out. This is a little bit too risky, I think, in the eyes of a lot of people to try to go for on 4th down this early on, despite the fact it's 4th and 1, especially with how the Middle Tennessee defense has been playing for most of the night. So they will send Logan on, and Caleb Nix back deep to return for Jacksonville State.
And a timeout called by Jacksonville State.
Yep, so the Gamecocks will take a quick moment to get everything in order. Jacksonville State 3-0 in Conference USA play to start the season. Coming off that big win a couple weeks ago against Delaware. Really dominated that game early. The defense played a sensational game, held the Fighting Blue Hens to just 12 points in the first 3 quarters. And the offense with Cam Cook showed out, 3 rushing touchdowns on the night for him in that game. And Charles Kelly's squad had their way. It's been a bit tougher tonight, though, for Jack State to hit their mark against Middle Tennessee, but the huge gadget play just a second ago with Gavin Wimsatt firing that touchdown to DeAndre Johnson, entirely changing the complexion of this one.
Yeah, and Blue Raiders have their offense out back on the field. It looks like Derek Mason has changed his mind. Hold on here. They may just be trying to get him to jump off sides.
Very well could be the case. Play clock is at 20 seconds, so they got plenty of time to keep trying that if that is what they're going to go for here. But we've seen Coach Mason take risks before. Does he have another rabbit out of the hat here? 4th down and 1. 2 receiver set. And before the play can be snapped, a timeout taken by Middle Tennessee, and they may have just been trying to see if they could get the hard count to work on Jacksonville State. Gamecocks didn't fall for it, and obviously you can understand them doing that in that situation. You might as well, and worst things worse, you can burn a timeout and get the punt team back out there, so not the end of the world for Middle Tennessee, especially in that situation. A first down could completely change how you approach this going into the end of the half. And keep in mind as well, Ethan, that Middle Tennessee will get there, rather Jacksonville State does get the football to start the second half, so Middle Tennessee's got to take that into account as well.
Yeah, and Jacksonville State's going to be fighting not only the Blue Raider defense, but the clock here. There's only 5:31 left in the game. Jacksonville State only with 2 timeouts. Jacksonville State got 2 big chunk plays on that last drive, but that's not something they do very often.
So Logan will send it down the field from the far right hash, and here's Caleb Nix on the return. Nix trying to get some decent yardage, and he'll be finally tackled right around the 22 to 23 yard line.
And there's a flag on the play, and it looks like this one's going to go on Jacksonville State.
Yeah, flag on the return. It's on the far side of the field, right around the 27 yard line, give or take. And we'll see what the flag's about. Usually it's a hold in these sorts of situations. And there you go. So holding penalty on Jacksonville State on the return. That'll back them up all the way to, it looks like, the 12 yard line is where the official will spot the ball. So again, poor field position for Jacksonville State. However, it didn't stop them on the last drive. The question is, can Jacksonville State impose their will on this Middle Tennessee defense without the help of something like a gadget play?
We'll see here, and they've got enough time that they can still run the football, but just not enough time to really worry about. Looks like they're going to snap it here. I'll continue this thought in a minute.
3 receiver set. Cook comes in motion. They're going to hand it off late, and it is not going to go much of anywhere. Middle Tennessee's defensive line was all over. It looked like Christian Lando that time, and it was indeed Lando who got the handoff, and he got virtually nothing.
And as I was saying, Jacksonville State's got enough time that they can run the ball, but not enough time to really be lackadaisical with it. They do need to have some sense of urgency trying to get down here into the end zone before half.
It was actually Andrew Paul who got the handoff that time. He is subbed in as the running back for Jacksonville State in that situation. Now they'll hand it off to Cook. It actually looked like it was a direct snap that time, if I'm not mistaken, and he's able to take it ahead and spin his way for a few yards on second down to set up third and medium.
Cook able to do something that not many running backs have been able to do, and that's escape the arms of Parker Hughes. He ran right into him, but was able to spin out of the tackle and go for a few more yards, as now it's third down, and Jacksonville State is driving.
Yeah, that's not an easy thing to do on any stretch of the imagination when you're playing Parker Hughes as a running back. 4 receivers set for Caden Creel. 3rd down and 6 from the right hash. Creel steps back in the pocket, in trouble, gets rid of it. It's a screenplay. Andrew Paul's got it, and Andrew Paul's got room. He is tripped up right around the 25 or 26 yard line and falls forward to get a first down for Jack State.
That wasn't so much of a screenplay, just a smart decision by the quarterback. MTSU brought blitz there, and right before the linebacker was able to get that back there, Muaz Byard for the sack, the quarterback was able to find his man in the flat who was able to take off and get some extra yards.
Whether it was a screen or a screen-looking play, it works out for Jacksonville State. They move the chains. Cam Cook is going to get the handoff, and he is tripped up. Phenomenal play in the backfield by Middle Tennessee, a loss, and the Blue Raiders defense continuing to show their stuff.
Muaz Byard there on the stop, and now that's going to bring Jacksonville State back about 5 yards. 5-yard tackle for a loss by Muaz Byard.
Muaz Byard, of course, the brother of Kevin Byard. He's been stepping up in a huge way this season. Had 3.5 TFLs entering this game, and he adds to it right there. 2nd and 15 coming up for Jacksonville State. Cook comes in motion right in front of the quarterback. Creel has a man open, but it's not going to go much of anywhere. Middle Tennessee is on top of it once again. Abdul Muhammad able to get the stop quickly.
MTSU by no means has a good secondary, but Abdul Muhammad has certainly been a bright spot on it. He, of course, did cost them a touchdown last week due to a very rough, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, but there he's able to make a big play and make it 3rd and 15 for the Gamecocks.
Huge shift for the Middle Tennessee defense that time. They subbed in probably about 7 or 8 players, and it's going to be 3rd down and 15 with 2:27 to go here in our first half. Creel checking with the sideline. Ball is on the left hash. Far side of the field for Jack State. 3 receiver set for Creel, all on the near side. It's going to be a handoff to Cam Cook, and it's not going to go much of anywhere. Got maybe 3 yards on the handoff, got to the 30-yard line, and that's going to bring up 4th down as we're going to hit the 2-minute timeout here in our first half of action. So Middle Tennessee should get one more possession before our first half comes to an end. We'll take a 2-minute timeout as well and be right back on the MTN Sports Network. Don't go anywhere. Your home for all things sports in the Tennessee Mid-State is right here on MTN Sports. We give you a taste of everything that our area sports have to offer. Our video content is second to none, with award-winning shows like Blue Raider Extra Point and live broadcast of sports like MTSU Tennis. Whether it's announcing, anchoring, or social media, we've got a spot for you to join our team. MTN Sports, your ultimate mid-state sports hub. Welcome back here on the MTN Sports Network. Dylan Simmons and Ethan Williams on the call. We've hit the 2-minute timeout here in our first half of action. Your score, Jacksonville State 7, Middle Tennessee 6. Stay tuned for our halftime show by Braden Blackwell, tonight sponsored by MTSU Counseling Services, providing high-quality mental care that educates, enhances, and empowers students. MTSU Counseling Services is here to help. Come by anytime Monday through Friday at the Keithley University Center. Blue Raiders getting a nice stop on this possession by Jacksonville State. They handed it off to Cam Cook just a moment ago. We were talking about this during the break, Ethan. You think that handoff and that run was just a cut down on the time that Middle Tennessee had to drive the football down the field on this upcoming possession, right?
Absolutely. It's 3rd and 15. You're getting close to that 2-minute mark. At that point, you got to realize we're unlikely to get the first down here, and we get the ball coming out of the half. Jacksonville State's going to do that. That's what they're saying. And so they just got that handoff there to get to the 2-minute break and also chew a little bit of clock to make sure that MTSU has as little time as possible to come down here and score. MTSU with 2 timeouts left, and after this punt, they'll be looking to get this ball somewhere around the 30 to 20-yard line. And MTSU needs to get another score in order to stay competitive in this game. They don't want Jacksonville State to run away with it.
They 100% do not. And in order to make this game in their favor once again, they're going to have to do something here on this possession because Jacksonville State does get the ball to start the second half. This Gamecock team with a championship tradition over the last few seasons. Of course, winning the CUSA championship game a season ago. They won the ASUN championship not that long ago as well. And, of course, they won 4 OVC championships in a row, 5 in a row actually, in the mid-2010s. Trying to win back-to-back titles for the first time since they were in the OVC. And right now, undefeated in conference play, and Kennesaw State right next to them. Going to make things interesting down the stretch as we get ready for the final full month of college football action, at least as far as the regular season goes.
MTSU here facing a challenge as on this punt return, they've struggled to put the ball in the air. They've struggled to get these completions, and so in order to score within 2 minutes, that's something they're going to have to fix.
Jaquel Middlebrook is back deep to return this punt as Middle Tennessee looks to find their way back to the lead for the first time in this late portion of the second quarter. Donahue sends it away.
Nearly had it blocked.
Yeah, it was pretty close to getting blocked. Middlebrook will field it at the 35 and fair catch it. So that's where the Blue Raider offense will go to work. Jack State's coverage team converging very nicely. There is a flag on the field over near the 29-yard line, right around the area where they snapped the football. So in theory, that would possibly be holding, but we'll see of what variety.
Looks like one of the Blue Raiders thinks that was on them.
Yeah, that was the initial motion from one of the Blue Raiders special teams players. I think that was A.J. Jones down there, actually, who was motioning that. Oh, my goodness. So that's going to be a first down for Jacksonville State, a face mask on Middle Tennessee on the punt coverage. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's just a mental error that you can't make right there, and I didn't see who that call was on, but man, that's rough. So now Jacksonville State, who previously was just playing to keep MTSU out of the end zone, now may go and have another chance to come down and score. They've got 2 timeouts left, and they'll need a little bit of trickery to get in the end zone here.
That was on Gamarian Carter that time, and my gracious, that is just a backbreaker from Middle Tennessee. 15-yard penalty gives Jacksonville State the first down because it was 4th and 8. Ball's now at the 45-yard line of the Gamecocks, and Jack State with a 3-receiver set. New life here at the end of the first half. Man comes in motion. It's going to be a sweep. And taking the ball to the near side of the football field and getting some positive yardage, as he's wrestled out of bounds is Traquan Fegans, not Traquan Fegans. That is actually Brock Recksteiner, who got the handoff and got some good yardage out of it.
Brock Steiner, redshirt senior for this team out of Woodstock, Georgia.
Woodstock, Georgia, 2nd down and 1 coming up for Jacksonville State. He's also the son of Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner. And that ball incomplete as Creel was looking toward the far side of the football field. So 3rd down and 1 coming up. Solid pass from Creel, just a little bit high as he was trying to find Pearson Baldwin. Jacksonville State with all kinds of family relations and cool family tie-ins. Of course, Brock Recksteiner chief among those, Scott Steiner's son, and the cousin of current WWE superstar Braun Breaker, who's tearing it up with the Vision right now. 3rd down and 1 coming up for the Gamecocks, trying to get their own championship back this season. Creel fakes the toss, now works to the far side, but he is met in the backfield. What a play by the Blue Raider defense once again. They force the loss, and it's 4th down and 5.
That was Reggie Johnson, number 46 there on the play, the redshirt junior from Mountain Sac College. And, man, what a phenomenal play there by him. And MTSU is going to burn a timeout here and try to get the ball back to get in scoring position.
Reggie Johnson with a phenomenal defensive play. He had 4.5 tackles for loss entering this game, and he's done a sensational start this season. His first season getting starting action, his first collegiate start, as a matter of fact, was against Austin Peay. Had 4 tackles in that game and half a sack. He also got a sack against Mo State, and he is playing some good football defensively tonight. Forces 4th down. Middle Tennessee takes a timeout. They've now got 1 remaining. Ball at the 50-yard line, and Jack State has to send on the punt team once again.
On that last play, it was a fake pitch to the right, and the quarterback was going to keep it to the left, but the defense didn't bite on the pitch and blew up that run play.
That is great awareness by Reggie Johnson. This punt towards the far side of the field, and it will be fair caught right around the 22-yard line by Jakael Middlebrook. So Middle Tennessee's offense with a little bit less time than they had to work with before, but that face mask that they had called on them a few moments ago turns out to not be as costly as previously thought. But still, with 1 timeout, 1:27 to go, and 78 yards to hit pay dirt, Middle Tennessee will have to work fast, Ethan.
Yeah, MTSU's got a long way to go and a short time to get there. Just 1:27 and 1 timeout. MTSU has to put the ball in the air, which is going to be something hard to do given the rain and given, well, just how much they've struggled doing that this season.
Blue Raiders trying to get win number 2 in their first Conference USA win of 2025 and get a sensational finish to this first half. 3 receivers set for Vadiato. Steps back, fires one down the field open. Hunter Tipton's got it. A flag comes down in the backfield. Tipton takes it ahead for a few yards, but now we got to see what the flag's about.
That's going to be holding on MTSU's offense. They got a good hands on number 7 of Jacksonville State. And the reason Vadiato had so much time there as well, because number 7 was getting tackled, and that's just something you can't do, especially in a critical moment like this.
That was, as you mentioned, big number 7, Isaac Walker, the outside linebacker, redshirt senior, who was held up on that play. 6'2", 235 pounds out of Greensboro, North Carolina, has 21 tackles on the season and 4.5 tackles for loss. Certainly a player to watch for Jack State. First down and 20, 1:19 to go in our first half. Vadiato from the right hash. Fires one short and incomplete. Kind of just threw it into the dirt that time. Not sure if that was intentional or not, but either way, it's 2nd and 20.
That looks like it was intended to be a screenplay that Jacksonville State read really well, and Vadiato just throwing that ball into the dirt. It's better to lose it's better to lose the down than it is to lose yards. So now that'll set it up a 2nd and 20 for the Blue Raiders.
Middle Tennessee has had 3 Conference USA losses this season, and all of those have come by just one score. 24-16 loss to Kennesaw State, 22-20 to Moe State, and 31-28 against Delaware last week. They're hoping that tonight will not be another instance of that. 2 receivers set for Vadiato. Steps back, has a man open, ball caught, and look at this run, making some big headway that time. It looked like was Jacale Middlebrook, and he is able to take it out of the backfield for a big gain on 2nd down.
Jacale Middlebrook got some phenomenal speed, both running and catching, and MTSU is going to go no huddle.
No huddle, 1st down and 10 for Middle Tennessee. A 1st down presented by MT One Stop. Vadiato on a slant route, incomplete, trying to find A.J. Jones. Bit of a dangerous pass. Jones was in front of the defender, but it's 2nd down and 10.
Quaquan, the defensive back, another transfer from the University of Central Florida. He was there to make the play and did a great job of getting his hand in there to break up the pass on that slant.
Former Knight versus former Knight that time, and it was the defender who won on that play. 2nd down and 10, 55 seconds to go in our first half. Ball at the Blue Raider 34-yard line. Rain continuing to come down here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. 4 receivers set for Nick Vadiato. Middlebrook to his right. Vadiato, look, steps up, in trouble, and he goes down. The first sack of the night for Jacksonville State is by big number 99. It's Emmanuel Oibadejo, once again, the redshirt junior from Manchester, England, with a Big Ben-style sack.
Oibadejo just has the experience and just has the size over number 79 of Middle Tennessee, Zach Clayton, and that's something that we saw earlier. Oibadejo was able to get into the backfield to stuff a run, and that's just a big mismatch that MTSU's needing to address on the line. They need to put a tight end or they need to put a running back over there to help on that weak side of their offensive line.
Oibadejo did not play football until he was 19 years old. 2nd time we've mentioned him on the broadcast tonight, and I'm sure it won't be the last time. He is just an absolute force over there at the defensive end position for Jacksonville State, and this Gamecocks team is certainly glad to have him. Came in under Rich Rodriguez, and he's making great headway here in his 2nd year, this time under Charles Kelly. 3rd down and 14 for Middle Tennessee after the sack by Oibadejo. 4 receivers set for Nick Vadiato, Middlebrook to his right. Long way to go from the 30-yard line for the Blue Raiders. Vadiato takes the snap, steps up, in trouble, fires it short to Middlebrook over the middle, trying to get past that 45-yard line, and he does. Nice job by Jacale Middlebrook, using his speed and using his shiftiness to move the chains once more.
Yeah, that was a great job by Hunter Tipton, who was actually back there running a route, and then when he saw Middlebrook caught the pass, he turned around and just jammed his defender, giving Middlebrook some extra space and some extra time to get that 1st down.
Ball stops to move the chains. Now it rolls. 35 seconds to go in the half. Vadiato to the near side of the field. Incomplete. There was a little bit of a tie-up over there as Vadiato was trying to hit his intended target, number 17, Gamarian Carter, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
That was number 3 in coverage once again. Traquan Fagans, the redshirt junior out of UCF, who's been making some big plays on this drive so far.
Remember, Carter had that face mask penalty that forced this possession to be rushed a little bit more than it otherwise would have on that 4th down and 8 punt by Jacksonville State last possession. 2nd down and 10. Ball at the Middle Tennessee 46-yard line. On the far side hash, Vadiato has a man over the middle. Ball caught. Oh, my gracious. Taking a massive shot after making the catch is Gamarian Carter, and the clock's still running with 20 seconds to go in the half.
Great job by Carter to just bounce right back up after that huge hit, and the clock's ticking. Is MTSU going to take a timeout here? And they will.
And they probably should have taken that one earlier because they let about 10 seconds bleed off the clock after Carter initially caught that football. And that leaves just 10 seconds to go here in our first half of action.
MTSU, they're actually going to put this play under review. They're going to see if that was targeting on Carter.
Oh, boy. So that's going to be interesting to see if that's a flag on Jacksonville State, or excuse me, a targeting call on Jacksonville State. And if it is, That'll move Middle Tennessee well into Gamecocks territory and completely changes the complexion of these final 10 seconds of the half.
And if it isn't, well, this is a very obvious passing situation for the Blue Raiders, and MTSU will need to get a deep pass and get out of bounds quick in order to set up a field goal.
Just saw the review, and they're going to say no foul for targeting. So Jacksonville State catches a break. That was Mark Woods, who was the defender in coverage that time and laid the hit down on Gamarian Carter. So Jacksonville State catches a break, 3rd down and 4, 10 seconds to go in the half with the ball at the Gamecocks 48-yard line.
Very obvious passing situation for the Blue Raiders now. They need to get something out fast, and they need to get it towards the sideline so they can get out of bounds. Or they do have one timeout left. They could call on that as well to get in field goal range.
You potentially do have a couple plays here, Ethan, and that's what Middle Tennessee will likely keep in mind. Biggest thing is that you want to try to get this ball in field goal range for Jacob Hathaway.
MTSU with 10 seconds left on the clock.
Badiato looking far side, incomplete, threw it over the head of Cameron Lacey on an out route, and that brings up 4th and 4 with 4 seconds to go. So Hail Mary probably here, partner?
Likely. They may also be content just to run the ball here and head into the locker room and talk about what they can improve.
Feel like the Hail Mary has kind of been a relic of a bygone era in recent years, at least as far as throwing it at the end of the half is concerned. You just don't see it as much anymore, and as a fan of the Hail Mary, I wish that they would do it more. We'll see what Middle Tennessee has in store here.
MTSU likely to take a shot at the end zone regardless. Najee Cox, look at him. He's one-on-one. Jacksonville State going 4 deep to make sure that the Blue Raiders stay out of the end zone here.
All right, Vadiato needs time. Fires one deep down the field. It's going to be short of the end zone, and it is intercepted, picked off by Jack State, and they've got tons of room in front of them. Trying to chase his man out of bounds, unable to, staying on his feet, trying to lateral the ball back, all kinds of chaos. It's still loose, still on the ground, trying to stumble and bumble their way to the end zone, and they are going to throw it into the end zone. That's a forward lateral. It's a flag down on the field, all kinds of chaos. What in the world was that?
That is what we call weekday CUSA. And there's 2 flags down on the play, one over where it looks like the player threw it when he was out of bounds, and then one here in the end zone, which would have been on the forward lateral.
I just about 100% guarantee that this play will not stand, as there was all kinds of the only thing missing there, Ethan, was the Stanford band. That was absolute insanity, and like you mentioned, that's weekday CUSA. But at least that last lateral looked to be forward, and there was another lateral that was towards that far sideline that also looked like an illegal forward pass. You cannot do that unless it, is indeed a forward pass, and you can't do that on a return. So
MTSU's already going to the locker room. They don't need to see the review.
And we'll await to see what the officials have to say. Jacksonville State has not left the sideline yet, just in case by some miraculous turn of events that this ends up being upheld, but I almost 100% guarantee it will not. And that's traditional weekday CUSA action. And I think the officials are calling for Middle Tennessee to get back on the football field. I can't tell exactly what the deal is. They're talking to somebody down there, to Derek Mason, yeah. And I think he's frustrated about what's going on. I think he's trying to say it's obviously not a touchdown, and therefore we don't need to keep this going any longer.
So now the head official comes out here, and he's waving the team back onto the field. And I want to talk about that interception. It was by Caleb Nix, the redshirt junior.
So they're going to review this to see if that illegal forward pass will, in fact, be called a lateral.
Interception by Caleb Nix, safety, redshirt junior, as you mentioned, relative of Bo Nix. And he's a transfer out of the University of Clemson. And, I don't know what they're reviewing here.
It looks like a forward pass from the Jumbotron. I'm not really sure exactly what the review is for. And
I mean, that's very obviously a forward movement, so I'm not sure why they need to review this.
And it almost looked like that Nix was out of bounds as he was trying to get rid of that football. He was definitely over the out-of-bounds line. I'm not sure if he had touched down yet. There we go. So that will wipe, I guess it was a touchdown off the scoreboard here at the end of the first half. Absolute chaos. It's weekday CUSA. What more would you expect? But after all that, our score is 7-6. Jacksonville State on top of Middle Tennessee in the rain, muck, and mire in Murfreesboro. Braden Blackwell will have our halftime report coming up in 4 minutes' time. What a chaotic end to our first half. We'll be back in 4 right here on the MTN Sports Network. Don't go anywhere. Your home for all things sports in the Tennessee Mid-State is right here on MTN Sports. We give you a taste of everything that our area sports have to offer. Our video content is second to none, with award-winning shows like Blue Raider Extra Point and live broadcast of sports like MTSU Tennis. Whether it's announcing, anchoring, or social media, we've got a spot for you to join our team. MTN Sports, your ultimate mid-state sports hub.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough. But if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to...
And welcome back into Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and a wild game so far with a score of 6-7, Jacksonville State on top. And, folks, it has been more than interesting. Not a lot of offense going on tonight, but it has been a defensive shutdown from both the Gamecocks and the Blue Raiders. Looking at the beginning of the game, first touchdown went to Middle Tennessee as a big play 10 yards out. How about Stokes punching it in for the first score, or excuse me, DJ Taylor punching it in from 4 yards out to give Middle Tennessee the only touchdown. They would fail the extra point after the fumble from the hold. But as for the Gamecocks, they score a touchdown as well on a huge trick play, an impressive catch, and a run all the way into the end zone from Demonte Johnson. And now Jacksonville State looking ahead, trying to get more on the board. They've had opportunities, but especially with that last play, a lot breaking down for Jacksonville State, and the Blue Raiders just kind of got shut down towards that latter half. And MTSU, 6 points on the board with a failed extra point. They've got a lot of work to come out here and try to seal their first Conference USA win, and Jacksonville State looking at staying undefeated. We'll be taking a short break, and we'll be right back here on the MTN Sports Network.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Your home for all things sports in the Tennessee Mid-State is right here on MTN Sports. We give you a taste of everything that our area sports have to offer. Our video content is second to none, with award-winning shows like Blue Raider Extra Point and live broadcast of sports like MTSU Tennis. Whether it's announcing, anchoring, or social media, we've got a spot for you to join our team. MTN Sports, your ultimate mid-state sports hub. Hey media superstars, are you looking to take the next huge step? The Middle Tennessee School of Journalism and Strategic Media is here to help you with classes and degrees in entertainment, investigative, advertising, sports, and more. From award-winning programs to award-winning professors, we give you everything you need to make your dreams a reality. The MTSU School of Journalism and Strategic Media. Inform, entertain, design, engage.
And we welcome you back here at halftime. Your score once again, Middle Tennessee 6, Jacksonville State 7, and a very defensive matchup tonight. Real quick, taking a look at some college football going around right now. Conference USA, we had a game yesterday on Tuesday. Kennesaw State takes down the UTEP Miners 33-20. And right now, there's another close game not at halftime yet. 1:56 remaining in the second quarter. Missouri State on top FIU 14-7. And overall in the standings, Kennesaw State is the #1 team in Conference USA at a perfect 4-0. Jacksonville State playing their 4th game tonight with a chance to stay undefeated. Western Kentucky, Missouri State, both of those teams on the far end of being #1 in the conference. Looking towards the bottom, Sam Houston is 0-4 in the conference. MTSU sits at 0-3, but with the way it's looking tonight, they have an opportunity to get their first conference win since last year. UTEP and New Mexico State, and kind of filling the middle is the Liberties, the La Techs, the Delawares, the FIUs, who are sitting at either 2-2, 2-1, or 1-2. So Conference USA is still in the hands of whoever wants it. And Sam Houston will play La Tech on Friday, as well as some other Conference USA games going around. But that Sam Houston game, they're still looking for their first regular season win in general. They've been struggling this year, one of only 2 teams in the country to not have a win yet, them and the University of Massachusetts. But with that, we'll take a timeout, and when we get back, we'll right here on the MTN Sports Network, we'll have more coming for you live from Middle Tennessee State University.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at smokeybear.com. And remember,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First, drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips. Because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Your home for all things sports in the Tennessee Mid-State is right here on MTN Sports. We give you a taste of everything that our area sports have to offer. Our video content is second to none, with award-winning shows like Blue Raider Extra Point and live broadcast of sports like MTSU Tennis. Whether it's announcing, anchoring, or social media, we've got a spot for you to join our team. MTN Sports, your ultimate mid-state sports hub. Hey media superstars, are you looking to take the next huge step? The Middle Tennessee School of Journalism and Strategic Media is here to help you with classes and degrees in entertainment, investigative, advertising, sports, and more. From award-winning programs to award-winning professors, we give you everything you need to make your dreams a reality. The MTSU School of Journalism and Strategic Media. Inform, entertain, design, engage.
And we welcome you back here in Murfreesboro. Halftime score of 6-7. MTSU down to Jacksonville State. And looking ahead into the second half, a lot of the improvements here for both teams are going to be on the offense. Jacksonville State Starting with the Gamecocks, they started extremely slow. They were able to pick up the pace a little bit. We saw the two back-to-back hook and ladder trick plays that got them that opportunity to come back out and score. But since then, it's been pretty dormant. I've seen both MTSU and Jacksonville State's punter more than anybody tonight. So a lot of this is all on the offense. The defense is playing spectacular. 6 points and 7 points allowed for both teams respectively. And it's extremely impressive. Both teams are getting their head on the ball. But they have to come out in the second half and establish some kind of offense. Whether that be a passing offense or a running offense. The number one rusher in the nation, Cam Cook, 58 yards at halftime. And I can say one thing, that's probably the lowest it's been in a while. So MTSU's defense, especially that front four, they're finally able to put some pressure on the number one yards leader in the country. And with a lot of attempts he's getting, they're starting to have to rely a little bit more on the passing offense. So we're starting to see a couple more throws from Cam Creel, and we're starting to see a little bit more out of the offense that previous Conference USA opponents haven't been able to see. For Middle Tennessee, we've seen a good mixture, but Vadiato has been off of the mark. He has been throwing a little bit inaccurate, a lot of wide passes. He has to come out in the second half, realize, communicate the rain coming down. There's going to be wet conditions, but that is football. That is the story of American football. You play in the rain and you get over it. Vadiato has to come out. Middlebrook has looked fantastic latter in that second quarter, and now he has an opportunity to come out in the second half and really, really establish himself for the Blue Raider offense. And the wide receivers have a lot of work to do. We saw Najee Cox go out early on in the game. He hasn't hit the field when he's been out there. It has been slow reps, a lot of run blocking. So hopefully we see Najee Cox in the second half. But we are about to be underway here at MTSU. I'm going to send it back to Dylan Simmons and Ethan Williams to carry you into the second half when we return on the MTN Sports Network.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
This is what you desire. Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First, drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips. Because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back here on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University. Dylan Simmons and Ethan Williams on the call with you. Second half action between the Blue Raiders and the Jacksonville State Gamecocks just about set to get underway. Jacksonville State on top by a score of 7-6. Pretty defensive first half overall, but we saw a couple bright flashes of offense on both sides, and both times it was due to the passing game, Ethan.
Yeah, it sure was. Jacksonville State with a really unique screen pass, and then on a double reverse pass that MTSU just wasn't, just wasn't prepared for. And then MTSU, of course, finding Nick Vadiato, I should say, finding DJ Taylor out of the flat in the backfield, and he was able to power his way 10 yards into the end zone for MTSU's lone score of the night. MTSU having to give Jacksonville State back the ball here. Jacksonville State's offense has been fairly snubbed out by this MTSU front seven. The Blue Raiders playing their best defensive ball they have all season.
Yeah, rushing attack for Jacksonville State has been somewhat limited, just 60 yards so far. Middle Tennessee with 39 rush yards, 103 passing yards for Jacksonville State. Middle Tennessee with 102, so strangely enough, the passing game for Jacksonville State has been better, at least statistically, than Middle Tennessee's tonight. Didn't expect that coming in, but it's been a weird game. Here's our opening kickoff in the second half. Hathaway sends it deep, and the ball will bounce up out of the end zone, and that will send us to the Jacksonville State offense. The Gamecocks, not quite their usual explosive self, but they've struggled on the road this season. The Middle Tennessee defense has come to play. They've had a couple of key returners tonight, and they've made life hard for Jack State so far. But most importantly, Ethan, Jack State still finds themselves in the lead.
Yeah, Jacksonville State, they don't have a player with more than 30 rushing yards so far. Cam Cook, 11 carries for 29 yards. Caden Creel, 8 carries for 28 yards. As now they get ready to snap the ball.
Caden Creel still in at quarterback, and he's going to throw on the first play of the second half, able to find Cam Cook, but Cook is not going to find much daylight. He was tripped up, looked like behind the line of scrimmage. Great play by Middle Tennessee. Mitchell that time in on the stop.
Mitchell having a phenomenal game so far. That's his 10th total tackle of the night.
Mitchell all over the football field defensively. Second down and 12, a 2-yard loss on first down. 4 receiver set for Caden Creel. Creel fires one over the middle into traffic, and it was somehow caught. What a great catch by Brock Recksteiner. And he will get fairly close to a first down. Going to be maybe 2, 3, 4 yards short.
Recksteiner now with 3 receptions on the night.
Recksteiner, the leading receiver for Jacksonville State this season. 263 entering the game and 4 receiving touchdowns, including one, 2 weeks ago against Delaware at home. Cam Cook on the far side as a receiver. Interesting formation here for Jacksonville State. They've got 3 guys lined up as a receiver, all pretty close to each other on
Trips
this near
formation.
side of the field. Yeah.
Trips formation to the right side of the quarterback.
Creel is going to hand it off, and trying to plow his way forward for the first down is Christian Lando, and I think he's going to be just a bit short.
Yeah, both the sideline judges are going to say that he's short by less than a yard, and Jacksonville State's going to go for it.
Yeah, they're going to line up the offense quickly and see if they can pick this up, catch Middle Tennessee off guard. Here's the handoff, and Cam Cook able to dive just ahead for a first down.
And so the Gamecocks keep their drive alive, and Cam Cook with another carry on the night, bringing his total up to 13 on the day.
Nice work by Cam Cook to pick up the yardage on that play, and it was a really smart job by Clint Trickett in this offense to go quickly and catch Middle Tennessee off guard, able to pick up that first down. 12:58 to go here in our third quarter. Cook gets the handoff, and he's got a little bit of space around the far side hash mark and gets probably around 7 or 8 on first down.
You saw him lay it in there to Parker Hughes. Parker Hughes wasn't quite ready for that hit, and that's what I was talking about in the first half. This run game really starts to wear and tear down on the defense as the game progresses.
Second down and 6 for Jack State. 2 receivers to the right of Caden Creel, 1 to the left. He's going to hand off, and Christian Lando's going to get met by Mitchell once again. Boy, is he having a sensational night. That's going to be another tackle for loss.
Mitchell now with double-digit total tackles on the night. That's his 11th total tackle of the game. What a night he's having.
Third down and 5 coming up for Jacksonville State. Again, trying to go fast and really wear out this Middle Tennessee defense on the first possession of the second half. 12:05 to go in our third quarter. 3 receiver set for Caden Creel. Christian Lando to his right. Cam Cook lined up as a receiver, at least for the moment. They're going to have Creel keep it. He's going to fake the toss, now does give it up, and trying to plow his way ahead for the first down, and coming up short, it looked like, was Pearson Baldwin, and it's going to be decision time again for Jack State.
Yeah, it's going to be third or fourth and about 2 yards here for Jacksonville State. And on comes the punt unit. Jacksonville State Middle Tennessee, did a phenomenal job of covering that quarterback option. They had 2 men to shut down the quarterback, one in front of the quarterback in case he tried to cut it upfield, and one just a little bit behind him in case he tried to do the reverse. And then they had a man on the option player as well. Great job there on defense for Middle Tennessee.
Pearson Baldwin's had a lot of balls floated his way tonight. Here's a booming punt that goes up over the head of Middlebrook and is going to bounce into the end zone for a touchback, just barely. Jacksonville State almost able to keep it out of the end zone with their punt coverage team, but it'll come out to the 20-yard line, and that's where Middle Tennessee will go to work. Timeout on the field, so we'll take one as well. 7-6, Jack State on top. Middle Tennessee with the football right here on the MTN Sports Network when we come back.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Weekday CUSA action right here on the MTN Sports Network. Dylan Simmons and Ethan Williams on the call. We've reached our third quarter of action. 11:06 left on the clock. Jacksonville State on top 7-6, but Middle Tennessee will start with the football here in just a moment. And it's been a story of the two defenses stepping up in a huge way so far. Middle Tennessee's offense hasn't been all that explosive this season, the number 11 scoring offense in CUSA, but they're hanging with Jacksonville State thanks to their tremendous defensive performance, and we'll see if the offense here can match that.
Absolute star of this defense so far. We've been saying his name and giving him praise all night because it's much deserved, and that's Alex Mitchell, who has now got double-digit total tackles on the night. Great night for Mitchell so far.
All right, Nick Vadiato in the backfield alongside Jaquel Middlebrook. He's got one receiver to his right, make it two as Cam Lacey comes over there. Vadiato fakes the sweep, rolls to his right, fires one down the field, ball caught. A.J. Jones, 6-spin move, put on the juke that time, and he got the first down. How about that move by the transfer from UCF?
Great job by Jones, and Vadiato took a late hit there at the end of that play that was not called. He was a little bit slow to get up, but now he comes up to the line, and so does the rest of the offense. MTSU running the no huddle, something they've been doing all night long.
12-yard pickup on first down for Middle Tennessee. Nice catch by A.J. Jones. Middle Tennessee back on the move once again, trying to cut into this one-point lead. Vadiato hands off to Middlebrook, and there was no protection that time from the offensive line as Jack State blew that play up it's going to be a pretty significant loss.
You know, I don't get it, Dylan. They keep trying to run off the weak side of the line. That means that's the part of the line that doesn't have a back, a tight end, or anyone over there to help defend the block. It's just the tackle and the guard. And Jacksonville State is consistently bringing pressure off that weak side, and MTSU's running right into it.
2nd down and 13 coming up as that play went nowhere for Jaquale Middlebrook and Middle Tennessee. Middlebrook with a rough night so far tonight rushing the ball. 8 carries for 10 yards total. 3rd down and 13 for Middle Tennessee. Vadiato in the pocket, fires one over the middle, dangerously, almost intercepted. He was trying to find Cox on a crossing pattern, and it was almost picked. 4th down.
Yeah, there was 2 defenders who almost had their hands on that one, so now it's going to be 3rd and long, 3rd and 13 for the Blue Raiders. MTSU going to have to do something to keep this drive alive.
Yeah, good call, partner. 3rd down and 13. My mistake there. So Middle Tennessee still with one more chance on 3rd down, but it's going to be a long 3rd down. Cam Lacey checks out of the game. 4 receivers set for Nick Vadiato on the far side hash. 9:45 to go in our 3rd quarter. Nick Vadiato so far tonight, 11 for 24, 114 yards and a touchdown. As he steps back in the pocket, fires one over the middle, ball caught. Hunter Tipton shook off a tackler and is still going. Tipton loose, and Hunter Tipton able to bring it all the way into Gamecock territory for a big 1st down.
That was number 31, Mark Woods, the safety, who was for some reason lined up on the tight end. And, you know, you got that small body versus the big body. Hunter Tipton was very impressively able to handle in that ball and shake off the tackle to get the 1st down.
All the way to the Gamecock 42-yard line. 3 receiver set for Nick Vadiato in Middle Tennessee. Middlebrook right behind him. Vadiato fakes the handoff, steps back. Over the middle again, ball caught. Najee Cox stays on his feet inside the 20 and into the red zone. Middle Tennessee is cooking with grease on this possession.
Najee Cox letting them know we got that 1st down, and then MTSU's now in the red zone for just the 3rd time tonight.
That is his 3rd reception of the evening, and Middle Tennessee at the 18-yard line. 1st down and 10 coming up, and this red zone offense trying to cash in and give Middle Tennessee the lead right back. Trips to the near side. Vadiato fakes the handoff. Now pitches it late to Najee Cox, and Jacksonville State is all over it. Loss of 1 that time.
Not really sure what they were trying to do there, and Vadiato pitched the ball to hopefully to Cox to hopefully get a couple of yards, but Cox was covered before that ball even touched his hands.
By the way, folks, 1st downs tonight brought to you by the MT One Stop. For integrated services and financial aid, registration, tuition, billing, and transcripts, always go first to MT One Stop. 2nd down and 10 for Middle Tennessee, down 7-6 to Jacksonville State. Here at home, trying to get their 1st home win of 2025. Vadiato with a high snap, rolls back, in trouble, got to get rid of this one, and finally does, just throws it away. Smart decision by Vadiato because he had a world of hurt coming his way if he didn't get rid of that football when he did.
Vadiato, that play was busted from the start. They brought in 2 tight ends to help bolster that right side of the line. That right side's been struggling all night long against this Jacksonville State defense, and Jacksonville State was still able to break through despite the extra blockers and just blow that play up.
Vadiato 6th in Conference USA in passing yards and touchdowns thus far this season. He was a part of the number 2 passing offense in CUSA a season ago, taking somewhat of a step back so far this year, but trying to catch fire late. 3 receiver set, all to the right. Vadiato from the left hash. Looks, now takes off. Vadiato's got green grass in front of him, and he plows forward for a 1st down. Great decision to keep the football and move ahead by Nick Vadiato.
Vadiato doesn't run it often, but that's something that the Blue Raiders really need to attack more, as in their only win, a majority of their rushing yards came off the legs of number 11.
Nick Vadiato does have 2 rushing touchdowns this season and 124 rushing yards on the ground for Middle Tennessee. Big substitutions here by Jacksonville State. 1st down and goal from the 8-yard line for the Blue Raiders. 2 receivers to Vadiato's right. Middlebrook right behind him on the left side.
2 tight ends to the right as well.
MTSU looking for the 1st touchdown of the 2nd half. Vadiato hands off. Middlebrook's got it, spinning away from tacklers, trying to plow his way forward and gets just inside the 5-yard line for a 3-yard pickup on 1st and goal.
MTSU's been running to that weak side of the offensive line all night long, and that time they put a tight end in motion to help bolster the push on that line, and, well, it really paid off for them there, as now they're sitting at the 5-yard line.
Jacksonville State again shifting the defensive personnel. They've done that a couple times already in this possession. Blue Raiders sticking with mostly the same personnel, and it looks like, at least initially, trying to see if they can get this ball out of the hands of Vadiato and into the end zone with a 4-receiver set. We'll see if instead if it's a handoff to Middlebrook. A.J. Jones now to the far side. Vadiato in the backfield alone, now runs it ahead, trying to take it to the end zone. Jacksonville State ready this time, but Vadiato still able to pick up 3 yards, and it'll be 3rd and 2 on 3rd and goal.
Vadiato able to run it, but you don't like to see him take hits like that, especially given some of the shots he's been given in this game so far. But now 3rd and short. I think this might be there's a lot of things MTSU could do here. They like to throw it in the end zone, and it looks like they're bringing in an extra tight end, so we could see a run here.
3rd down and goal for Middle Tennessee, and as you mentioned, an extra tight end in the game. Most of the line kind of focused on that left side. Middlebrook needs to get it in from 2 yards out. Instead, Vadiato's got it. He's going to throw to Middlebrook, and he is in the end zone all alone. Touchdown, Blue Raiders. What a possession here in the second half to give the Raiders the lead.
Yeah, they overloaded that left side with 2 tight ends, making it look like it might be a run. And then when he passed the football, or when he got the pass, excuse me, I'm stuttering all over the place here. When he got the snap, he went for the pass, and the tight ends were able to set up great blocks for Middlebrook to get in for MTSU's 2nd touchdown of the night.
So Middle Tennessee now with 2 tailbacks, both with receiving touchdowns in this game. Jaquale Middlebrook and DJ Taylor. Middlebrook with a 2-yard touchdown here from Vadiato. An 11-play, 80-yard drive in 5 minutes, 34 seconds, and they're going for 2. Vadiato to the end zone, and Hunter Tipton makes the catch in the back of the end zone for the 2-point conversion. It's 14-7 Middle Tennessee.
Risky thing to go for it there, but MTSU needed to do it to make sure that a touchdown from Jacksonville State wouldn't give them the lead again. And, man, just a really, really tough call, but it paid off for the Blue Raiders.
Hunter Tipton making the catch on the 2-point conversion, and Jaquale Middlebrook with the receiving touchdown. What a possession by the Blue Raiders for Jaquale Middlebrook. That is his 4th receiving touchdown this season. Timeout on the field. We'll take one as well. Middle Tennessee on top, 14-7. We'll be back in 2 right here on the MTN Sports Network.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life. But you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the MTN Sports Network. Dylan Simmons, Ethan Williams, Braden Blackwell, and Kendall Davis here with you tonight at Johnny Red Floyd Stadium. Blue Raiders on top 14-7. Ja'Kale Middlebrook with a 2-yard receiving touchdown from Nick Vadiato just a moment ago. And the Blue Raiders claiming their first lead of the second half, Ethan. What a possession by them, and a whole new ball game now in this third quarter.
Absolutely. Derek Mason and Bodie Reed are in their bag tonight in terms of red zone offense. 2 of 3 so far in red zone appearances tonight. Great job by the Blue Raider offense so far.
Middle Tennessee up 14-7. They got the 2-point conversion with Hunter Tipton as well, and they've got a chance now to really take advantage and take control of this game if they can get a defensive stop on Jacksonville State. Easier said than done. Kick is up and away. It's a boomer, and this one will go into the end zone for a touchback. So Jacksonville State will start with the football at the 25-yard line. So the Gamecocks offense has been somewhat shut down so far. They've got 1 touchdown off of a gadget play. Gavin Wimsatt threw a touchdown on a double pass into the end zone in the second quarter. But otherwise, not much. How can that change for Jacksonville State in this third quarter, Ethan?
Jacksonville State really just needs to rely on the run. We're seeing it here. As you run the ball, it gets cold. It hurts to get hit in the cold. It hurts a lot. So they need to make sure that they keep pounding the ball on the ground. And MTSU trying to get a late substitution.
Yeah, Reggie Johnson just was able to get off the field in the nick of time. First down and 10 at the 25-yard line. It's going to be Wimsatt. He's in, and he's got the football, and he's diving forward pretty close to a first down. Really nice run by Wimsatt on first down. It'll be marked, looks like just a little bit short. It'll be 2nd and 1.
And who else makes the stop but Alex Mitchell? What a great night he's having tonight.
Mitchell continues to make a huge impact defensively. We call his name at least once or twice a possession, it seems, and he did it once again right there. Middle Tennessee with another late substitution. DeMonte Smith is just going to be able to get off the field. Cam Cook now back in at tailback. Caden Creel motions a man out, and he is going to keep the ball himself after faking the sweep and dives forward to move the chains for Jack State.
A host of Blue Raider defenders on that one, and that play was designed not to get a whole lot of yards, but just enough. They just needed about 2 to 3 yards, and that's all they managed to get. So Jacksonville State's able to keep their drive alive off that quarterback dive.
Caden Creel playing some pretty aggressive football, considering that he suffered an injury against Delaware 2 weeks ago. Took him out of the back half of that football game. There were questions about whether or not he would play tonight, and he has, and played pretty well. Fires this one short. Cam Cook's got it in open space, but he is going to be tackled just beyond the flat. A medium gain on first down.
Initial contact made by number 21, Abdul Muhammad. He just clipped him, didn't wrap him up, and that's something we've been seeing all night tonight. They're not wrapping up, and that allowed Cook to fall forward for just a few yards.
So it'll be 2nd down and medium for Jacksonville State here, 2nd and 7 after the 3-yard pickup by Cook. 3 receivers set for Creel, going to the air again. Slant pattern, ball caught. DeAndre Johnson already with a receiving touchdown tonight, and a good pickup on 2nd down to pick up a first down for the Gamecocks.
Tackle made there by Diarra McDonald. Second time we're calling his name tonight. Had a near pick in the first quarter, and there they did a great job. Or there he did a great job of bringing down the receiver.
That he did. DeAndre Johnson formerly played for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights of the Big Ten, now coming to Jack State. It's going to be Creel keeping the football after faking the handoff, and he is not going to get much. Middle Tennessee all over him that time. Parker Hughes, it looked like, was in on the tackle.
Parker Hughes and Anthony Byam there, and he was actually met initially by one of the D linemen. I didn't get the number in the backfield, and that kind of tripped him up, leading to Bynum and Hughes to bring him down for the tackle.
A 1-yard gain for Caden Creel on the quarterback keeper. Redshirt sophomore able to get just a little bit that time. 2:53 to go in our third quarter. 4 receivers out. Creel is going to delay the handoff. It's a halfback draw to Cam Cook, and he's able to spring forward with some good yardage. It'll be just short of a first down.
This one's going to be about 3 or 4 yards short, and regardless, I think this is 4-down territory for Jacksonville State, no matter what happens on this next play.
Yeah, 3rd down and 3 will be the official call here after a 6-yard pickup by Cam Cook, and a nice decision to hand that off late to Cam Cook. Creel fakes the snap for just a moment, trying to see if he can catch MTSU offside. Play clock is at 15 seconds to go. Looks like an obvious running situation for Jack State, at least for the moment. Nope, they are going to try to throw. Creel in the pocket, in trouble, steps up, trying to find his way to the near sideline, and does. He steps away from a tackler and is able to move the chains. Nice moves by Caden Creel.
Muaz Byard almost had him on the shoestring tackle, but the shifty quarterback was able to get out of his arms and get away for a first down.
Caden Creel now on the night with 30 rushing yards for Jacksonville State, and maybe no bigger set of yards for him than that right there. Ball on the right hash. 3 receiver set for Jacksonville State. Less than 2 minutes to go here in our third quarter. Gamecocks trying to get on the Charlie and Hazel Daniels Veterans Military Family Center scoreboard once again. Cook moves to the left side. It'll be a handoff to Cam Cook on first down, and he's got plenty of daylight. Almost broke that one. Good open field tackle by Middle Tennessee by Brendan Harris.
That was a great zone run there by the Jacksonville State offense. They did a great job of opening the B gap in between the tackle and the guard, and Cook was able to gash the Blue Raider defense for 9.
About the most daylight he's had so far tonight. Middle Tennessee's defensive line has been up to the challenge. 2nd and 1. It'll be Creel keeping it, spinning ahead, and it looks like he got enough for the first down. That should move the chains for Jack State, and it will. Nice job by Creel.
They've not been afraid to run it on 3rd and short or 2nd and short, and they've been doing it with the quarterback. And, you know, Creel is a really tall guy, so all he needs to do is really just fall forward, and he'll get the first down.
Yeah, 6 feet tall, 200 pounds is Caden Creel out of Fairhope, Alabama. He was a superstar when in high school, ranked number 5th in the state, and had 23 total touchdowns his senior year. First down and 10 for the Gamecocks. It's going to be a fake sweep. Now Creel fires short, ball caught, and moving up with plenty of yardage is Brock Rechsteiner, and he's able to use a Steiner recliner kind of move to get close to the 10-yard line.
And that was a wide receiver screen. Great job by the offensive line to get out there and get their blocks to get open space for the receiver.
It'll be first down and 10 for Jacksonville State, but before that, the third quarter will come to a close. Jack State on the march in a fun weekday CUSA game. Middle Tennessee on top 14-7. Back in 2 minutes for the fourth quarter of action right here on the MTN Sports Network.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com, and remember,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First, drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips. Because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Johnny Red Floyd Stadium on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University. Wednesday night, weekday CUSA action. Your score entering the fourth quarter, Middle Tennessee 14, Jacksonville State Dylan Simmons, Ethan Williams on the call. Jacksonville State on the move. They've got the ball at the 13-yard line with a 1st down and 10 coming up, trying to tie up this game, Ethan, in what's been a really fun and competitive second half.
It sure has been. MTSU able to get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Jacksonville State on their lone possession of the second half, or their second possession, I'm sorry, able to drive it down the field, and now they're in the red zone in scoring position. And this is quite the opposite of what we saw last time these two teams played. Jacksonville State very dominant with a lot of rushing yards in that meeting last year. MTSU really unable to do much anything. And, now the script is somewhat flipped. Both teams struggling heavily on offense, but having some great plays made by their defense.
Jacksonville State 17-3 through 20 games in Conference USA. They've been superb in CUSA matchups dating back to their first year in the conference in 2023. Of course, just had one conference loss a season ago. 3-0 this season in CUSA action, but right now they are in trouble in Murfreesboro against Middle Tennessee, who's trying to win this matchup for the first time since the 1990s. We'll see if they can pull it out in the fourth quarter or if Jack State has a significant last gasp still remaining. 1st down and 10, ball at the Middle Tennessee 13-yard line for Caden Creel, Cam Cook, and this Jacksonville State offense. 3-receiver set. Cook is the tailback. Creel right beside him. Man in motion is Brock Recksteiner. And they're going to do another end around, and Middle Tennessee is all over it. They blew up that play before it even had a chance to get going, and it looks like it's Reggie Johnson who's in on the stop again.
Reggie Johnson didn't fall for the end around and absolutely blew that up, and that's going to be a loss of 11 yards on offense for Jacksonville State. What a phenomenal play by the Blue Raiders.
Talk about a devastating play for Jack State. What a huge play for the Middle Tennessee defense. That entirely changes the complexion of this possession. 2nd down and 21. Creel pump fakes, steps up in the pocket and falls down on his own, slipped on the turf. The turf monster got him, and it's going to be another loss for Jack State.
Yeah, that's tough there for them, and so that turned a 1st and 10 into the red zone to now a 3rd and 27 at the 30-yard line. Jacksonville State may be lucky to come out of this one with points at all.
Yeah, they're already on the fringe of field goal range for Garrison Ripa. He does have a 52-yarder this season, which he got in the game-winning field goal against Sam Houston a couple weeks back, but this is still a significant range for him to try to kick from. It'd be a 47-yarder from where they are right now. So now 3rd down and 27, ball at the Middle Tennessee 30. 3-receiver set. Cook in the backfield beside Creel. Almost looked like a false start that time. Creel in trouble, just gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. Was trying to find his tight end, Pearson Baldwin. It went nowhere, and it's 4th down for the Gamecocks.
And, if Creel would have just held on to that one a little bit longer, they ran some crossing routes over here on the near side of the sideline, and he would have had a man open if he would have just stuck with that for a few more seconds. Instead, he tries to dump pass to the wide receiver, or to the tight end, I'm sorry, and now the Gamecocks are going to attempt the field goal. As in some mimicry of what's happening in Oklahoma State, there's a collection of shirtless fans in the end zone trying to cause some distraction for this Jacksonville State field goal unit.
All right, Garrison Ripa, 47-yarder kick is up, and this one is up and good through the uprights. What a kick by Garrison Ripa. A 47-yarder, and Jacksonville State has cut the lead to 4, but considering all they had going right on that possession and then the start on that fourth quarter, kind of a disappointing result for Jacksonville State. We've got immediate timeout on the field, so we're going to take one as well. Middle Tennessee on top, 14-10. They'll have the football when we come back on the MTN Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a 3rd-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. encourage them to see a doctor, or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the MTN Sports Network. Good fourth quarter on tap here from Floyd Stadium. Middle Tennessee on top 14-10. Garrison Ripa nailing a 47-yard field goal, just a moment ago for Jacksonville State on a cold night. Sometimes makes it harder to get your words out, especially when you're up on the top part of the press box and you're exposed to the elements, but that just makes it that much more of a genuine experience, doesn't it, Ethan?
It does, and we were talking about this during the break. Jacksonville State has an international roster. Of course, we've been seeing big plays by Obajayo from England, but they also have a freshman punter from Ireland, a wide receiver from Israel, and their long snapper is from Germany. So Jacksonville State got players from all different corners of the world here tonight in Murfreesboro.
Such a unique team, not just the international presence, but as we mentioned, we have Caleb Nix, brother of Bo Nix, on this team. We've also got Brock Recksteiner, son of Scott Steiner, cousin of Braun Breaker. All kinds of weird and cool connections to see with this Jacksonville State team. They're a really fun bunch to watch. But right now, they're down 14-10 to Middle Tennessee, who's in control of this football game, at least for the moment. They've got the football coming up next. Ripa sends it deep. And Middle Tennessee with DJ Taylor back there. He'll let it bounce into the end zone for a touchback. So the Blue Raiders will start with the ball at the 25-yard line. Wind picking up, temperatures going down, but right now the Middle Tennessee offense is feeling it. Great possession last time out, finished off by a 2-yard receiving touchdown from Ja'Kale Middlebrook. And now the Blue Raiders have a chance to take the first 2-score lead of the night, Ethan.
Yeah, the Blue Raiders in a phenomenal position. A score here, in the third quarter, if they're able to, or the fourth quarter, I'm sorry, if they're able to chew some clock here and get into the end zone, that might be a dagger for Jacksonville State, as they've struggled to move the ball tonight.
Blue Raiders 1-6 entering this game, 0-3 in CUSA play. They have not won at home since last year against Kennesaw State. That was October 15th, so it's been over a year since Middle Tennessee last won at home. They are on the verge of changing that here tonight against Jacksonville State. But, Ethan, it's all about finishing the game. As you mentioned, Middle Tennessee has got to play a complete fourth quarter to close this one out against the Gamecocks.
They sure do, and something else we should mention is this is statistically the worst start for the Blue Raiders since their move to the FBS. MTSU has not had a season worse than this since the early 90s. So the Blue Raiders really needing to get a big win here, and if they're able to do it against Jacksonville State, one of the leaders of Conference USA, well, that could be a big momentum shift as they hit the last stretch of their season. Jacksonville State, a loss here would be absolutely embarrassing for them as they go from conference contender to maybe a pretender.
Well, and it's not unprecedented to see massive CUSA upsets like this. If you'll remember back just last year, Ethan, Kennesaw State winless defeated undefeated Liberty at their home stadium back in October in weekday CUSA action. And we could be on the verge of another big upset here tonight with the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. And if Middle Tennessee wins, it keeps their slim hopes of bowl eligibility alive. So a lot to fight for, not just for Jack State, but for Middle Tennessee as well.
Absolutely, and if you look at MTSU's schedule, looking ahead, they have a very winnable schedule. Coming up next week, they'll be home against Florida International. FIU struggling from a lot of the same issues that MTSU is doing. I'd say those teams are on a similar level. Then they go on the road for the 100 Miles of Hate against Western Kentucky, and that'll be a big challenge for them as Western Kentucky is one of those top teams of the conference, some of the top crop. Then MTSU comes back to home to play against Sam Houston State, which is not only just one of the worst teams in Conference USA, but one of the worst teams in the nation. And then MTSU will finish their season off going on a big road trip to New Mexico State University, another team that's been having some struggles this season.
Perhaps tonight could be the start of a winning streak for Middle Tennessee. We'll find that out in short order. By the way, folks, touchdowns tonight courtesy of MTSU Campus Recreation with a variety of leisure and recreation activities. You always score big with MTSU Campus Rec. Visit today at 1848 Blue Raider Drive in Murfreesboro. 13:29 to go in the fourth quarter. Middle Tennessee on top 14-10, and with the football at their own 25-yard line. Nick Vadiato 15 for 29, 167 passing yards and 2 touchdowns so far. Pretty solid second half thus far for Middle Tennessee, trying to add to it right here. 3 receivers set, Middlebrook to his right. Vadiato fires one far side, ball caught, but going nowhere on that reception is Cameron Lacey. He was met immediately by a Jack State defender.
Yeah, that was the safety, number 2, who was crashing down on that play. He read that one perfectly, and that's a great job by Lacey to hold on to the ball through contact there. That was a big hit that he took. Travis
Franklin Jr. in on the stop that time for Jacksonville State. The safety out of Riverdale, Georgia, played at Sandy Creek High School, 5'11", 185, 22 tackles on the season entering this game, and that was a huge tackle for loss. Second down and 10. Vadiato fires one over the middle, ball deflected and incomplete. They're going to blow this play dead. Jack State was trying to recover it just in case it was a fumble, but it was indeed not, so third down and 10 coming up.
Great job by MTSU to pick up the pressure there. Jacksonville State bringing a man off the edge and dropping a linebacker out of the box to bring pressure, and the offensive line did a great job of picking it up, but one of those linemen were able to get their hand up there to swat down the pass, and so now it's going to be 3rd and long for the Blue Raiders. MTSU needs to put a dagger in this game to walk out of here with a win, and to do that, they'll have to convert somehow, some way on this 3rd down.
Looked like it was Oibadejo who once again got his big mid up there. 3rd down and 10 for Middle Tennessee. 3 receivers to the right of Vadiato. Vadiato in the pocket, rolls to his left, in trouble being chased. Now it's just going to take off and run, and he will be knocked out of bounds about 5 yards short of the first down marker. It's going to bring up 4th down, and Jacksonville State gets the stop they were looking for.
They do, and Vadiato taking a big hit at the end of that play as he was trying to go out of bounds, and just ran right into the tackler. And, man, you can't take hits like that as the leader of this offense. You got to keep him upright.
R.J. Rayner forced him out of bounds, so Middle Tennessee will send on Ashton Logan. By the way, folks, the rain is mostly stopped here at Floyd Stadium, so that will make things a little bit easier, you'd imagine, with the passing game and ball security, but still something to keep an eye on with how much rain we've seen today.
The turf's still soggy.
We've seen that already in this second half. Good protection. Logan sends it away. This ball will take a Blue Raider bounce and go inside the 30-yard line. That's where Jacksonville State will set up shop. So the Gamecocks, facing unprecedented adversity in CUSA play, really haven't had to play too far from behind thus far this season, although you may remember back to that Sam Houston game on the road, Ethan. They were down for big portions of the second half, ended up getting that walk-off 52-yard field goal from Garrison Ripa. Facing similar adversity here in the fourth quarter, how do they handle this pressure against MTSU?
Well, they just got to get out of their own heads, and they just got to start completing some passes, really. MTSU secondary is a really big weakness of their defense, so if Jacksonville State is able to put it in the air, they can kind of do the opposite. Normally, you set up the run in order to set up the pass, but now they need to get some completions on the pass to set up the run. You need to get MTSU to get back out of the box and try to defend the pass a little bit more, and then you can get Cook to, cook the defense. And that's the main thing that I think Jacksonville State needs to do to try and turn things around tonight.
All right, we'll see if the chef Cam Cook and Jacksonville State can get it done when we come back in 1 minute's time right here on the MTN Sports Network. Don't go anywhere, folks. Your home for all things sports in the Tennessee Mid-State is right here on MTN Sports. We give you a taste of everything that our area sports have to offer. Our video content is second to none, with award-winning shows like Blue Raider Extra Point and live broadcast of sports like MTSU Tennis. Whether it's announcing, anchoring, or social media, we've got a spot for you to join our team. MTN Sports, your ultimate mid-state sports hub. Hey media superstars, are you looking to take the next huge step? The Middle Tennessee School of Journalism and Strategic Media is here to help you with classes and degrees in entertainment, investigative, advertising, sports, and more. From award-winning programs to award-winning professors, we give you everything you need to make your dreams a reality. The MTSU School of Journalism and Strategic Media. Inform, entertain, design, engage.
11:53 to go in regulation. Middle Tennessee on top 14-10 on a Wednesday night weekday CUSA action right here on the MTN Sports Network. Dylan Simmons and Ethan Williams joining you. Jacksonville State with the football, trying to take their first lead since the early portion of the third quarter. Offense has been tough to come by for Jack State, but they've established a little bit more of a rhythm as time has gone on. The rushing game is starting to get some headway against the Middle Tennessee defense, and Caden Creel and that offense starting to get some consistency and rhythm here, Ethan.
They sure are, and they've been able to complete some passes, and two just really bad plays led to them only getting a field goal instead of a touchdown on their last possession. But Jacksonville State really finding some rhythm and really having an easy time moving the ball so far in the second quarter.
Jack State with
second half, sorry.
Jack State with 90 rushing yards on the game so far to Middle Tennessee's 59. Not nearly the explosiveness that you usually expect from them. They average the number 3 rushing offense in the country and usually get about 245 rushing yards per game. That has not been the case tonight. Credit to the Middle Tennessee defense. But can they keep it going? First down and 10, ball at the 27-yard line for Creel and the Gamecocks. It's a toss to Cam Cook. He works his way near side. Cook had some daylight but was just tripped up as he was about to turn into another gear. Brendan Harris able to trip him up.
Great job by Harris, and, just short of the first down. Watch out for the quarterback keeper here for MTSU, as that's something they've loved to do on these short yardage situations.
Yeah, Jacksonville State has loved the quarterback keeper with Caden Creel all throughout this game. They've got the ball at the left hash with 11:25 to go in our fourth quarter, trying to get Cam Cook, the chef, cooking here in this final quarter of regulation. 4 receiver set for Caden Creel. Will they go back to that quarterback keeper? Cook shifts to the left side. Creel fakes the toss, stands strong in the pocket, has to roll to his left, and he's going to get forced out of bounds. Middle Tennessee left Creel with nowhere to go, and they force a huge loss on the play. Great job by the Blue Raider defense once again.
Malik Donaldson out there making another play. Malik Donaldson, haven't called his name a whole lot this season, but man, what a great play he made there to take this from a second and short to a 3rd and 10. Phenomenal play by this front seven of MTSU.
DeMonte Smith was also in pursuit. Now Creel looking far side down the field, has a man down there. Jump ball, and it is caught. DeAndre Johnson climbing the ladder and getting a huge pickup for the Gamecocks.
One-on-one against McDonald of MTSU's defense, and that's something that you don't want to see. MTSU's secondary is by far their biggest weakness, and Jacksonville State was able to take advantage of that there.
Biggest pass play of the night for the Gamecocks. Cook takes it on the handoff, and Parker Hughes and the Blue Raider defense all over it that time. The chains hadn't even been set yet. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for Jack State.
Jacksonville State having to get a little bit creative in order to pick up these first downs, and they're already in field goal range, as we saw earlier.
Garrison Ripa's got a heck of a leg on him, but right now Jack State.
And that's a penalty on MTSU for an illegal substitution.
Wow, illegal substitution. So that's why Jack State was trying to go so fast, see if they could catch Middle Tennessee napping, and they did. That illegal substitution will give them some free yardage, and that should move this ball up to the 30-yard line, and indeed it will. So that'll make this either a 2nd or 1st and 5. Should be 1st and 5. I guess they're going to wipe that last play by Cook off the board. Didn't see a flag be thrown that time, but Jacksonville State will certainly take it. So it's 1st and 5 at the 30-yard line. Creel with a 4-receiver set from the right hash. Creel stands strong in the pocket, looking near side of the field for Johnson again, and he's able to make a almost touchdown catch. He was just forced out of bounds that time. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Boy, Creel was going for it all that time.
Man, that's just pure luck on that play for the Blue Raiders. Jackson Lowe got beat deep, and up and over the head of Lowe as the rain's starting to come back down now. And luckily, though, for the Blue Raiders, that receiver was out of bounds when he hauled in that ball.
Boy, just barely. Johnson almost had that left foot on that blue paint, but Middle Tennessee catches a break. 2nd down and 5. If Creel had placed that a little bit better, they would have had a chance, and they're going to take a look at this just to be safe. I was watching that on the Jumbotron, and I didn't see anything from the replay that would indicate that that was a touchdown catch, but we'll get a look at it here. If it is a touchdown catch, it would be a 30-yard reception for DeAndre Johnson and his 2nd touchdown reception of the game.
Not a lot of great receiving going on for Jacksonville State, but just in the first half, DeAndre Johnson has by far been their #1 man. In the first quarter, he had 1 target, 1 reception, 56 yards, and a touchdown, and they're giving us the replay in his foot. He is very clearly out of bounds on that one.
Well, the Jacksonville State band seemed to think that he was inbounds, but I didn't see anything there, like you mentioned, that would indicate they'll change this. I can see, though, why they wanted to buzz down and look at it, because it is close, but it looked as though that Johnson's left foot was up above the turf instead of down on the turf. And really, it was the quarterback Creel trusting Johnson to once again win his one-on-one matchup with Lowe, like you talked about, Ethan, and he basically did, just couldn't quite haul in the touchdown catch. But this is a massive play for this Gamecock squad.
And, look at the size of DeAndre Johnson. He is 6'8", 220 pounds. I don't believe MTSU has a single player in their secondary above 6'4". So any ball thrown up to him is going to have to be a high jumper. And, it's just you can't coach big, Dylan. You can't coach big. And when
wow.
They're going to reverse that.
Reverse it and call it a touchdown. Unbelievable. I did not see anything that would indicate that that was a touchdown catch, but the officials must have saw something different than we did. Unreal. Jack State takes the lead on a 30-yard touchdown reception from DeAndre Johnson.
I don't know if they got an angle that we didn't, but the angle that we got, he was out of bounds on that one. So Jacksonville State getting in this odd field goal formation once again, and they take the lead.
Garrison Ripa on to attempt the extra point. This place is stunned, and Ripa is going to rip the ball through the uprights to make it 17-14. Controversy, but a touchdown for Jacksonville State. DeAndre Johnson has taken 2 to the house, 4 receptions, 131 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the night. Jack State on top, 17-14. Middle Tennessee looking for a response when we come back right here on the MTN Sports Network. Back in 2 minutes.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
This is what you desire. Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First, drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips. Because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the MTN Sports Network. Shocking touchdown from DeAndre Johnson just a moment ago after a video review was buzzed by the men upstairs. And Jacksonville State now with a 17-14 lead after the second receiving touchdown by Johnson. And the monsoon has begun here in Murfreesboro. All kinds of rain coming down, and that's going to make these last 10 minutes very interesting, Ethan.
It sure will, and, this is something that MTSU really doesn't need. They struggle to put the ball in the air when it's raining tonight. They've really struggled to put the ball in the air all night long, and they're going to have to rely on their run game, which hasn't been very successful for them. And going back to that touchdown catch, I don't know if the refs had a view that we didn't, but it looked like his right foot was out of bounds and his left foot was in the air, so you'd think that would negate the touchdown, but they gave it to him.
DJ Taylor lets this one skip into the end zone, so Middle Tennessee will take it at the 25-yard line. So the question is, how will Middle Tennessee attack this offensively, especially with the rain coming down? Will that neutralize the air attack? Nick Vadiato is 16 for 31 tonight with 2 touchdowns and 167 yards. Running the ball, though, it hasn't been too effective for Middle Tennessee, just 59 rushing yards. The top rusher is actually Nick Vadiato with 20 rushing yards so far in this game.
MTSU needing to score here with 10 minutes left in the game if they want a chance to come back.
Down by a field goal. Ball on the far side hash. Vadiato takes the snap, fires one over the middle. It is deflected at the line, and it'll be second down and 10. He was trying to find Hunter Tipton, and it's second down.
Vadiato not putting enough air on these balls. He's getting them just right across the top of his line, and these defensive linemen are able to get their hands up and swat it down.
Second down and 10 for the Blue Raiders, 10:01 to go here in our fourth quarter of action. Middlebrook right behind Vadiato. 3 receivers set for MTSU, all of them to the right of the quarterback. Vadiato looks that way. Ball caught. Cameron Lacey able to spin his way forward and get pretty good yardage on second down, probably around 7 or 8. It'll be third down and short for MTSU.
Jacksonville State brought the blitz there off that strong side, and the Blue Raider offensive line did a great job of picking it up. And because they brought the blitz, there was less people out there to cover Lacey.
Third down and 2 for MTSU. Same formation. They're going to go right back to Lacey. Same exact play, basically. And Lacey is able to trudge his way ahead for a first down. And, hey, if it ain't broke, why fix it, Ethan?
Absolutely. And MTSU looks like they're trying to set these receivers out wide to try and weaken the box so that they can hand it off to Jaquil Middlebrook, who's been having a pretty rough night so far on the ground. So maybe he can gash this defense to get some good rushing yards.
First down and 10 for MTSU. Ball is at the 37-yard line of the Blue Raiders. 3 receivers set for Vadiato. They have not gone to the ground yet on this possession, still preferring to attack through the air. Vadiato, play fake, looks over the middle. Ball is caught. Hunter Tipton's got it. And he's able to get to the 45-yard line to bring up second down and 2.
Great job by the offensive line to once again pick up the blitz. This time they had Middlebrook stay in the backfield to help and chip block the blitzing defender. And that gave Vadiato just enough time to squeeze that one out to Hunter Tipton.
Nick Vadiato playing some inspired football here in this fourth quarter. If you'll remember, it was his fourth quarter heroics in that game against Nevada in Reno that helped MTSU to a 14-13 win. Thus far, their lone win of the season. Can he do it again tonight? Shotgun formation for number 11. Vadiato, he's going for it all, looking for Lacey, and it's incomplete. A little bit of hand fighting going on towards the near sideline. There's a flag down on the field, and it's going to be roughing the passer on Jacksonville State. Wow, so that'll move MTSU up even further, all the way into Gamecock territory.
This defense has taken some shots at Vadiato. They've been doing that all night long, really, and Vadiato's just not been doing a good job of protecting himself there. That one, though, is very blatantly a penalty. And so Vadiato and this Blue Raider offense are now going to get the first down at the 40-yard line.
It's Curtis Perry who delivered the hit on Vadiato, and that moves Middle Tennessee all the way to the Jacksonville State 40-yard line. So a massive penalty by the Gamecocks. 3 receiver set, all to the left of Nick Vadiato. Middlebrook to his right. Been all pass plays so far. Play fake. Vadiato looks in the pocket, needs time, rolls to his left, firing from Middlebrook down the field. He's got it, Middlebrook all the way inside the 10, 1st and goal, Blue Raiders.
Man, what a dot by Middlebrook, or by Vadiato, though, to Middlebrook. Finding that in just the perfect spot in between Middlebrook and the defender. So now the Blue Raiders are in the end zone.
What a throw on the run by Nick Vadiato. 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. Can they punch it in to take the lead? Here's the handoff. Middlebrook's got it. He's got the pylon. Touchdown, Blue Raiders. They retake the lead.
That's Middlebrook's second touchdown of the night, and what a phenomenal drive by Vadiato in this Blue Raider offense. Middlebrook making big play after big play in today's game, and the Blue Raiders are back on top of the defending CUSA champion Jacksonville Gamecocks.
Do we have an upset brewing here in Murfreesboro? MTSU sure seems to think so with the way they're playing right now. Jaquale Middlebrook, the hero of that possession. First, the big catch, 34 yards, and then the 6-yard rushing touchdown to polish it off. Extra point coming up from Jacob Hathaway to make this a 21-17 football game and give MTSU an important 4-point lead. Kick is up, and it is through the uprights. 21-17 Blue Raiders, 7:45 to go in the fourth quarter. A 6-play, 75-yard drive, and they took it the distance, Jacob, in just 2 minutes, Ethan, 2 minutes and 21 seconds.
Man, what a quick response by the Blue Raiders. And now, by not letting the clock bleed off too much, if Jacksonville State can manage to score again, the Blue Raiders should have plenty of time to come down and get a score of their own, especially since they have all 3 timeouts left.
Sorry for calling you Jacob there, partner. There's a lot of excitement in the air right now, and Middle Tennessee is certainly feeling it on top 21-17 over Jacksonville State. And as you mentioned, what a drive by Nick Vadiato to step up under those circumstances with the rain coming down here in Murfreesboro, and to deliver like that takes the heart of a lion. And that is exactly what Nick Vadiato just displayed. And now MTSU, they can feel it. They're that much closer to claiming their second win of the season, but they're going to have to hold off Jacksonville State for at least 1 or maybe 2 more possessions.
The Blue Raiders making me look like a liar there, because right before that drive, I just mentioned that they have a really hard time moving the ball, not just in the rain, but through the air in general, and there, all but one of those plays were through the air.
They made the air attack work. The only rushing play was the touchdown from Jaquale Middlebrook. Kick off by Hathaway. This one's going to be short, and it's kicked out of bounds. Oh, boy. So Jack State is going to have solid field position. And the wind is also becoming a factor here, Jacob, and I think it pushed the ball to the far sideline.
Yeah, you can see the flags. They got the Conference USA flags with all the teams blowing on the opposite end of the field, and you can see they're blowing really strongly. So the wind is going to be a factor not only when it comes to passing, but also kicking the ball.
I've been talking to our sports director, Jacob Burgess, a little bit too much. My apologies, Mr. Williams. 1st down and 10 for Jacksonville State coming up. As I mentioned, because the kick went out of bounds, it is at the Gamecocks' own 35-yard line. So just 65 yards to get to the end zone, but they are down by 4, so you got to get a touchdown here to take the lead. Caden Creel, 4-receiver set. Delayed handoff goes to Cam Cook. He just hasn't had much daylight tonight, but that could be about to change. He cuts it against the green, cuts back on the near side, still on his feet, still going all the way inside the 25-yard line. Cam Cook cooking with grease on that run.
Yeah, he might have been covered in grease with how hard it was for the Blue Raiders to tackle him there. He shook about 3 or 4 tackles on that play in order to get it down just 4 yards short of the red zone.
In one play, Cam Cook takes it 41 yards. It goes all the way from the Jack State 35 to the MTSU 23-yard line, and the Gamecocks are that close to getting right back in the red zone. First down and 10, less than 7 minutes to go in regulation. Creel's motioning out. They're going to have Wimsatt come in as the quarterback here, and Creel is in as a receiver. Wimsatt now goes back to Creel. Creel looking for the end zone. He's got a man there. Johnson incomplete. Good play setup. Another gadget play from the Gamecocks, but they couldn't get it in the end zone this time.
Yeah, Johnson there thought he was hurt, but no, he was just upset over the fact that he couldn't haul that one in because he had his man beat once again. Johnson big and fast and hard to guard.
Unique play design that time. They started with Wimsatt at quarterback, then brought Creel right back over on an end around. He tried to throw it to the end zone to Johnson, and Johnson had it in his hands but couldn't bring it in. 2nd and 10 for the Gamecocks. 3 receivers set. Going to be a handoff. Cook's got it. Bouncing against the line of scrimmage. Cam Cook plowing his way forward with the help of those big bodies of his offensive line into the red zone, but about 5 or 6 yards short of the first down.
Yeah, now it's going to be 3rd and medium for the Gamecocks, and 3rd and 6 actually per the scoreboard. And this might be 4-down territories for the Gamecocks regardless of what happens here on 3rd down.
3rd down and 6. 4 receivers set for Jacksonville State. 6:13 to go in our 4th quarter. Fake sweep, short pass, ball caught. Trying to sprint his way to the end zone is Rechsteiner. He's just brought down inside the 10, but it's going to be 1st and goal for Jacksonville State.
That was another wide receiver screen, and a great execution by it from Jacksonville State to get this now at just the 10-yard line. Jacksonville State knocking on the end zone here as the 4th quarter starts to wind down.
6 catches for Brock Rechsteiner in this game. 1st down and goal for Jacksonville State. 5:40 to go. Middle Tennessee trying to substitute late. They got to get their player off the field, and they just do. Gamecocks trying to punch this one in. Creel from the right hash. He's going to keep it himself, try to get it in between the tackles, and he doesn't go much of anywhere. Ankle tackled right around the 9-yard line.
Great play by the linebackers there at Middle Tennessee as they're able to beat their blocker and meet Creel at the line. Gain of nothing on the play.
All right, 2nd down and goal from the 9-yard line for Jacksonville State. Cook in it running back again. It's going to be a sweep. Rechsteiner's got it. Brock Rechsteiner, the wide receiver, still on his feet, and he gets inside the 5-yard line, short of the end zone. Jacksonville State, though, knocking on the door of retaking the lead.
Jacksonville State ran that same play earlier in the game, and Middle Tennessee was able to respond there and get a stop short of the end zone.
3 yards to pay dirt for Jacksonville State. 3rd down and goal. 4 minutes, 39 seconds to go in regulation. Creel moves Cook to the left side of himself. Creel, hands off. Cook in the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville State. They bottled him up all night, but on this possession, the chef took over, and the Gamecocks retake the lead.
Gamecocks now with a 2-point lead, looking to make it 3 with the field goal here, but man, what just a phenomenal drive by the Gamecocks. They've been unable to really move the ball all night long, but on these last 2 possessions, they made it look easy, Dylan.
4 minutes, 29 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. A 7-play, 65-yard drive in 3 minutes, 15 seconds for Jacksonville State. Ripa on to attempt the extra point. This to make it a field goal game. Snap good, spot down, kick up, and it is through the uprights. 24-21 Jacksonville State as we go back and forth. Heavyweight slugfest in this 4th quarter so far. The Gamecocks with the advantage. Now, this is the kind of game that I don't know if we were expecting here tonight, but we're getting it late here, Ethan.
Absolutely, and man, what just an offensive explosion by both sides. As you know, heading into halftime, the score was 6-7, and now both these teams have been able to put up multiple scores in this last half of the game. We might have a barn burner here.
Jacksonville State now with 17 points in the 4th quarter alone. They have absolutely taken over after a slow start to this football game. The Jacksonville State offense couldn't get much going at all against the Middle Tennessee defense, but Cam Cook took over on that possession. Cook now on the night has 96 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. He also had that 42-yard run on that drive that helped set up Jacksonville State to put it in the end zone.
You know, and what a turnaround for him as well, because in the first half, he only had 29 yards on 11 carries through the first 2 quarters. So, man, he's really been able to break down this MTSU defense and make some big plays.
The nation's leading rusher also with his 11th rushing touchdown of the season. Jacksonville State on top 24-21, but Middle Tennessee still with time to respond. Ripa sends it deep, and DJ Taylor will let it bounce into the end zone for a touchback. So MTSU will start with the football at the 25-yard line. Got some extracurricular on the far side of the field. You do not want a flag on either side right here.
And Jacksonville State, they got the coaches coming off the bench to reel in their players. Not sure what happened there, but it looks like there's not going to be any flags thrown. Things getting a little chippy in this fourth quarter. Also a little chilly as this rain continues to fall.
It has fallen to probably the mid to low 40s at this point in time. And he talked about the emotion. This is a massive conference game. These two teams not traditionally rivals, but the proximity is actually pretty close between these two. It's not a far drive from Jacksonville to get up here to Murfreesboro. And some of those tempers overflowing here. First down and 10, Middle Tennessee. Ball at their own 25-yard line. Vadiato trying to go to work once again. 4-receiver set. Middlebrook in at tailback. Vadiato looks, fires short in the flat. Middlebrook's got it. Staying in bounds on the near sideline and getting punched out right around the 33, a couple yards short.
Vadiato showing his experience as a senior quarterback. He went through all 4 of his reads and saw nobody was open and was able to hit Middlebrook in the flat to gain a couple of yards. And, quite a few yards, actually, as it's going to be 2nd and 2.
Second down and 2 coming up for Middle Tennessee. 8-yard gain for Jacale Middlebrook on first down. Middlebrook now with 87 receiving yards on the game. More than the rushing total he's got. Vadiato looks far side, hand fighting, but the ball is still caught somehow by Najee Cox. What a catch. Flag down as well. Probably going to be a holding call or a PI. Should be MTSU first down either way.
Let's see what the head ref decides this one is.
There was a lot of contact between both sides over there. Usually they rule that on the defender in most situations. We'll see.
And they will.
There you go.
MTSU is going to decline the penalty, though, because the reception is a first down regardless.
Exactly right. What a catch by Najee Cox. He's been pretty quiet by his standards tonight, but that was a crucial 4th reception for himself, now with 34 yards on the game. 3:54 to go in regulation. Middle Tennessee down 24-21, but driving down the field. Jacob Hathaway does have a pretty good range this season, 6 for 8 so far. Remember, though, he missed the game-winning field goal attempt against Missouri State a couple weeks back. Here's a sweep. Cam Lacey's got it, and Cam Lacey's got room. Cameron Lacey spinning his way all the way to the 40-yard line. It's another Blue Raider first down.
Man, what explosive speed Cameron Lacey has. Man, just such a phenomenal player and, a big playmaker when this team needs it.
First down and 10 for Middle Tennessee. They'll officially mark it at the Gamecock 41. 4 receivers set for Vadiato. Play fake, pump fakes. Vadiato is going down. Jacksonville State able to cool off this red-hot MTSU offense, but there is a flag down on the far side of the field. Let's see what this is about.
Not really sure what this one could be here. I think this might be on the Blue Raiders, though.
It could be a hold call on MTSU. Didn't see anything that would make you think it's on Jacksonville State, but we'll see. Maybe a holding in the secondary. We'll find out. It's a personal foul on MTSU, so that's an even worse situation than the sack. That's going to move them way back all the way into their own territory once again.
Didn't see who that one was on, and that's going to be a 10-yard penalty. Man.
Looked like an illegal block was the official call, and it'll be first down and 20 for MTSU all the way back to their own 44-yard line. So that is a costly penalty. First and 25, as a matter of fact, a 15-yarder, and that is not the time to have something like that happen.
Tragic mistake for the Blue Raiders, especially when they need to score here with the clock still ticking, 3 minutes and 10 seconds and counting left to go in this ball game.
Chop block is the official call. Vadiato talking to his offensive line. 3 minutes to go in regulation time, running out for MTSU. Vadiato, he's looking for Cox deep down the field. Jump ball incomplete. Cox went up and had his hands on the football but couldn't bring it down.
And Cox is going to limp off the field here. Looks like that ankle that he damaged earlier in the game has given him some more problems.
Indeed it is, and that is an unwelcome sight for Blue Raider fans. Najee Cox, a guy you want in these situations. Yeah, he had the football, but it was knocked away by the Jacksonville State defender at the last second. Otherwise, it could have been a sensational catch. I think if Vadiato had thrown that maybe a second earlier, might have had a chance to fit that in there. But all that being said, tough play. So 2nd down and 25 coming up for MTSU, trying to clarify what an official was signaling down there. Thought there was a penalty for a second, but none called. 2nd and 25 for Middle Tennessee. Probably got to pick up a decent chunk here to have a realistic chance to at least get yourself in field goal range. Vadiato in the pocket, standing strong, in trouble, and he just throws it in the dirt. Did not want to risk a pass downfield in that situation, and it's going to be 3rd and 25. They're still fighting for the football. Jacksonville State's trying to argue that it was a fumble, but it looks like Vadiato was obviously getting rid of it.
Yeah, it looks like he was just pitching that one off in order to just, lose downs instead of yards. And what is Jacksonville State signaling? The officials are going to...
It's an incomplete pass is the signal, and Jacksonville State, they're adamant that it was a fumble, but it looked pretty obvious that that was indeed a 3rd down, or excuse me, an incomplete pass on 2nd down, and that's going to be the call on the field. So Jack State trying to appeal to the officials, and they were not convinced. 2:48 to go here in our 4th quarter, 3rd down and 25. Got to get a pretty decent pickup here on 3rd and 25 to have a realistic chance. MTSU still does have all 3 timeouts, though. Vadiato, high snap, standing strong, over the middle, incomplete. Cam Lacey couldn't hold on to it. Great pass deflection by Jack State that time. It was Tyron Taylor who got a hand in. Hunter Tipton was also open over the middle, but Vadiato didn't see him.
Yeah, and the Blue Raiders are going to elect to punt here, and they do have all 3 timeouts, so they get an opportunity, plus the 2-minute timeout.
Right.
Jacksonville State may just try to run this one out, chew clock, but we'll see what happens here.
And that chop block that MTSU committed on that possession, costly for MTSU's hopes of scoring with just over 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Punt is up and away. And this one from Ashton Logan will take a nice Blue Raider bounce, still rolling all the way down inside the 5-yard line. Great stuff from Ashton Logan. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go here in regulation. Jacksonville State with the football. So MTSU's defense has done a good job for the most part in bottling up Jacksonville State. That has been until this 4th quarter. Jack State with 17 points against this MTSU defense. And now, Ethan, they get a couple of 1st downs and they can ice this game.
Yeah, they do. And Jacksonville State, you got to wonder how, because a lot of their big plays have come on some of these trick plays or on some of these, just mismatches. You wonder how conservative this offense is going to try to be here on this big possession. Do they try to just chew the clock and hope that MTSU uses all their timeouts and can't get in the end zone, or do they try to get these 1st downs through some trickery but risk turning the ball over?
Creel in the shadow of his own end zone. Cook in as the tailback. Cook gets the handoff. MTSU ready for him, and he was lucky to maybe get a yard on that play. It'll be 2nd down and long.
MTSU going to use their 1st timeout here. Not going to wait for the 2-minute timeout. They're going to use one right here as Jacksonville State gets 1 yard on that play.
So Derek Mason betting on this being the series of plays and series of downs that MTSU can force a stop. 2 minutes, 25 seconds to go in regulation. Dylan Simmons and Ethan Williams joining you tonight on the MTN Sports Network. By the way, folks, stick around for our post-game show. Braden Blackwell will take you the rest of the way home, recapping all of the night's action and recapping the star performers on both sides. So Middle Tennessee's defense able to bottle up Cam Cook in the running game pretty well, like I mentioned, until this 4th quarter, and especially on the last possession. MTSU, though, Ethan, as we kind of obviously see here, has to put that behind them and just focus on the task at hand.
Yeah, they just have to be able to stop Jacksonville State's electric offense, and they held them to just 1 yard there. Jacksonville State, once again, I'm asking, how conservative are they going to be? Are they going to try to do some trickery and risk the turnover or risk an incomplete pass, or are they going to just try to run this ball and hope that MTSU runs out of time to score?
2nd down and 9. Cook takes the handoff again. MTSU once again there to bottle him up, at least initially. Cook was able to get a little bit of a push and maybe got a yard or two. It'll still be 3rd down and long. And MTSU is going to use their second timeout with 2 minutes and 17 seconds to go. So at this point, it's all but virtually all or nothing for MTSU.
It's all or nothing for Jacksonville State here. If they don't get a first down here, then they risk MTSU not only getting good field position because their punter doesn't have much of a leg, or at least from what he's shown us tonight, he doesn't. So Jacksonville State, very crucial for them to win this game to get a first down here.
All right, so here's the big decision, Mr. Football Player. Does Jacksonville State even think about passing this football?
Absolutely. Given how weak MTSU's secondary is, and especially given that they have a 6'8" receiver, you get him one-on-one. You get him one-on-one against anybody, it's going to be a mismatch. So I think on this play, you just try to highball it to him somewhere a little bit past the sticks and see if he can come down with it.
Remember, DeAndre Johnson has been a weapon tonight for Jacksonville State. He leads the team and leads all receivers with 131 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns for the Gamecocks.
And they got him one-on-one here as MTSU stacks the box.
2 men in the backfield for Jack State beside the quarterback. Creel takes the snap. He's going to keep it and work to the far side. MTSU ready for him, and he's going to be driven down just short of the first down marker. Good work by MTSU to see the quarterback keeper coming, and Jacksonville State, it looks like, will be forced to punt.
Good job there by Parker Hughes to crash on that play. He didn't make the tackle, but he was able to pick up one of those blockers on the edge, which allowed one of his other men to get right behind him and make the play. So now it's going to be 4th and short. Jacksonville State with 2 minutes. We're hit the 2-minute timeout here. Jacksonville State going to have to punt it away. MTSU gets to keep 1 timeout. So we'll see what happens here as we take a media timeout.
Yep, we'll be back in 2 minutes for the exciting conclusion, or maybe just the start of something even more special right here on the MTN Sports Network.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com, and remember,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First, drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips. Because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We've reached the 2-minute timeout in the 4th quarter. Middle Tennessee down 24-21 to the Jacksonville State Gamecocks, but they are about to get the football back and should get it in pretty good field position for Nick Vadiato and the Blue Raiders offense to try to take their first home win of the season and their first CUSA win of the year as well.
Yeah, and you know, the thought was brought up of what if Jacksonville State tries to go for it here on 4th down? Because, you know, on these short yardage situations, they've been giving it to the quarterback keeper, and they've been pretty successful with it all night. But with them being backed up this far, I wonder what they're going to do. I saw him warming up the punter on the Jacksonville State sideline, but, man, a very, very tense situation for both the Blue Raiders and the Gamecocks.
That would be the gutsiest of gutsy calls if they did something like that. But it looks like the punt team is out there. And Middle Tennessee will have Jaquale Middlebrook to return this. Right now he's standing at the Gamecocks 45. Punting has been a huge issue tonight for Jacksonville State. They've had a few shanks. They're going to have to hope they don't have one here. Middle Tennessee's coming after it. Punt is up. It's a knuckler, and it'll be fair caught around the 48-yard line by Jaquale Middlebrook. 48-yard line of Middle Tennessee, that is, and that's where the Blue Raider offense will go to work.
Of course, MTSU does not need to get a touchdown here. A field goal will suffice to put it into overtime. But, you know, you'd like to get a touchdown if you could, if you're Middle Tennessee, to put a dagger in this game.
They'll have the ball on their own 48, and like you mentioned, touchdown is not necessary here. You can get the field goal and extend this game, bring it into overtime. But Middle Tennessee, with all that's riding on this game, potential bowl eligibility, trying to get their first home win of the season, you'd have to imagine that if they can, they're going to be going for the jugular here. First down and 10, 1:53 to go in regulation. 4-receiver set, Tipton in motion. Play fake, Vadiato looks for Tipton, he catches it short, and he's immediately tackled by Jacksonville State. Great open field tackle by Caleb Nix.
And Tipton still down. He's hurt, and they're going to have to call a injury timeout here for Hunter Tipton, who's been having a great game all night long. So that's going to be a tough loss for the Blue Raiders.
Loss of 2 on the play, and Tipton still down. That is unfortunate because, as you mentioned, the big tight end's been having a great night and has been really having a great season for Middle Tennessee thus far. Hunter Tipton with 5 receptions for 57 yards coming into this drive. He is able to get up under his own power and will walk gingerly to the MTSU sideline. And hopefully this will be a short-term stint for Hunter Tipton on that MTSU sideline. But with him off of 10-second runoff going to be applied here. With him off the field for MTSU, it could change the dynamics of this next series of plays for Nick Vadiato and the Blue Raider offense with one of your more significant receiving threats out of the game.
And, you know, Dylan, based off of how he's moving and based off the hit that we just saw him get hit with, I think he just got the wind knocked out of him. And here in a couple plays, he should be able to come back in here.
All right, 2nd and 12, clock ticking with 1:30 to go in regulation. Vadiato steps up, has a man open. Middlebrook dropped it. It is incomplete, nearly intercepted. That was almost a disastrous turn of events for MTSU. Number 21, Miles Butler, just like the MTSU Miles Butler, got his hand on it but couldn't corral it.
Miles Butler, the junior linebacker.
State player, yes.
Yeah, out of Atlanta, Georgia, the junior. So now a big 3rd down for the Blue Raiders.
Here we go, 3rd down and 12. Not do or die yet, but close to it. 4-receiver set for Vadiato. Vadiato takes the snap. Fires over the middle, incomplete. There was some contact. Looking for a flag and not getting one from Middle Tennessee is A.J. Jones, and he's frustrated about it.
Yeah, and so now this is going to be the game. This is the game right here on this 4th down. If MTSU can convert, then the Blue Raiders have a chance to take the lead. If Jacksonville State forces an incompletion on this obvious passing play, then it's Gamecocks with the win.
Here we go. All or nothing for the graduate student quarterback, Nick Vadiato, and this Blue Raider offense, who have fought so valiantly here tonight against one of the top teams in Conference USA, trying to spring the upset. 4th and 12. Vadiato standing strong in the pocket, fires down the field, incomplete. Jones slipped, and that will likely end the game. Jacksonville State is going to get out of Murfreesboro with a win.
I don't know what Vadiato was really thinking there, throwing it to Jones. Jones, that pass wasn't even really in his vicinity there.
I expect that Jones was coming across the field, or at least that's what Vadiato was expecting. It was looking like a timing route, and Jones just unable to keep his footing on this slick turf, which has been drenched with rain. We said that would be something to keep an eye on late, and it looks like it's going to deliver a deflating ending to the Blue Raiders here at home in Jacksonville State. frustrated, bottled up all night offensively. Not the usual performance from their superstar Cam Cook, but they're still, it looks like, going to find their way to a massive fourth Conference USA victory of 2025. Creel takes a knee, and that will just about do it here from Murfreesboro. They just need to snap it one more time. Middle Tennessee is, it looks like, not going to use their final timeout. What a wild game it's been tonight. Weekday CUSA action. You couldn't ask for any more, and for Jacksonville State, they don't want to see any more. They want to get out of here with the victory. And Middle Tennessee, in fact, will use their last timeout with 45 seconds to go, praying for some sort of miracle in the Meadowlands miraculous play to happen, but right now it does not look like that is going to be the case. But Ethan, what a response by Jacksonville State. 17 points in the fourth quarter, able to come up with just enough great plays and keep Middle Tennessee at bay just enough to come away with a victory here.
And, you know, Middle Tennessee, for the Blue Raiders and the Blue Raider fans, the whole handful of them here tonight, it's very heartbreaking because, I mean, they had the lead. They were in control, but just due to a few 3-and-outs and just a couple of tough plays that didn't go their way, the Blue Raiders, who did outperform expectations tonight, are going to fall to 1-7 on the year, no longer bowl eligible, and they will have not won a home game since October of last year.
Creel takes a knee, and that'll do it. Jacksonville State finds a way to fight back and beat Middle Tennessee on the road in a 24-21 slugfest in weekday CUSA action right here at Johnny Red Floyd Stadium. They win their third consecutive over MTSU, move to 5-3 on the season and 4-0 in Conference USA play. And for the Blue Raiders, as you mentioned, Ethan, they fall to 1-7, 0-4 in CUSA play, and all four of those CUSA losses have been by just one possession. A disappointing ending for Middle Tennessee here at home, but no matter what, a ferociously fought game by both sides, and a game that none will soon forget. Eyes of the nation were on these two teams tonight, and they fought with every bit of guts that they had deep inside. Ethan, final thoughts from this one.
You know, this is a tough game on the Blue Raiders because, I mean, they came in and they punched Jacksonville State in the mouth. Last year, Jacksonville State put up 40 on the Blue Raiders, and this year, despite what is arguably a worse Blue Raider team, Jacksonville State could only manage to beat them by 3. And, man, what just a great effort by the Blue Raiders tonight. They've looked better, and that's something that we've seen all year. They just continue to look better and better as the season goes on, but still just unable to edge out a win in Conference USA. And, you know, things have got to be heating up in that coaching room, especially given the disappointing results of this season so far for the Blue Raiders.
Middle Tennessee searched for that white whale of a home victory in 2025. Still yet to be completed. A 1-7 start to the season. More work to be done. They'll get ready for FIU next week right here at home as they look to add to their win column and get that much desired second victory of the season. Meanwhile, for Jacksonville State, they'll look ahead to their own trials in Conference USA. Their next game will be against UTEP on the road on that same date of November 8th in El Paso. Coming up next, our post-game show sponsored by MTSU Counseling Services. Braden Blackwell will take you the rest of the way home and recap our great action between Middle Tennessee and Jacksonville State tonight. So for Ethan Williams, I am Dylan Simmons saying so long and have an electric night. Braden Blackwell with a post-game show coming up after this 2-minute timeout.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com, and remember,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, Did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First, drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips. Because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Your home for all things sports in the Tennessee Mid-State is right here on MTN Sports. We give you a taste of everything that our area sports have to offer. Our video content is second to none, with award-winning shows like Blue Raider Extra Point and live broadcast of sports like MTSU Tennis. Whether it's announcing, anchoring, or social media, we've got a spot for you to join our team. MTN Sports, your ultimate mid-state sports hub. Hey media superstars, are you looking to take the next huge step? The Middle Tennessee School of Journalism and Strategic Media is here to help you with classes and degrees in entertainment, investigative, advertising, sports, and more. From award-winning programs to award-winning professors, we give you everything you need to make your dreams a reality. The MTSU School of Journalism and Strategic Media. Inform, entertain, design, engage. Your home for all things sports in the Tennessee Mid-State is right here on MTN Sports. We give you a taste of everything that our area sports have to offer. Our video content is second to none, with award-winning shows like Blue Raider Extra Point and live broadcast of sports like MTSU Tennis. Whether it's announcing, anchoring, or social media, we've got a spot for you to join our team. MTN Sports, your ultimate mid-state sports hub. Hey media superstars, are you looking to take the next huge step? The Middle Tennessee School of Journalism and Strategic Media is here to help you with classes and degrees in entertainment, investigative, advertising, sports, and more. From award-winning programs to award-winning professors, we give you everything you need to make your dreams a reality. The MTSU School of Journalism and Strategic Media. Inform, entertain, design, engage.
And welcome into the post game here in Murfreesboro, where your final score 24-21. The Gamecocks take down the Blue Raiders here inside Johnny Red Floyd Stadium. Looking at the overall stats for both teams, Creel for the Gamecocks completes 13 for 19 for 140 yards and a touchdown, along with Wimsat, the backup, 2 for 2, 76 yards and a touchdown. The two passing touchdowns. Somebody unexpected, Cook, three carries for 21 yards in total. A lot of negative rushes kind of hit that number a little bit. But then going over to the Blue Raiders, Vadiato, 23 for 45, 235, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. And for the receiving core, Jakale Middlebrook, 6 receptions for 87 yards and a touchdown, along with Taylor with 1 for 10 yards and a touchdown. Middle Tennessee could not get it done here tonight, but they have another opportunity coming up next Saturday, where they'll be taking on the Florida International Panthers. We'll be back here in Johnny Red Floyd Stadium for MTN Sports Network. I'm Braden Blackwell signing off for the night, and we'll see you next Saturday.